Zhu Yan, a corporate drone, casually made a wish one fine day, simply wanting to become a carefree person. Unexpectedly, the heavens heard her plea, and with a bang, she transmigrated to another world. Unfortunately, she didn't become a carefree person, but instead became Liao Tingyin, the lowest-ranked disciple of the Ganshun Immortal Hall. To add insult to injury, Liao Tingyin was chosen as one of the disciples to serve the reclusive Dao Lord Sima Chao in secluded cultivation on Three Saints Mountain. The outside world spoke of this Dao Lord as gentle and kind, but upon entering, she discovered that the so-called reclusive Dao Lord was actually Sima Chao, the last survivor of the sealed Fengshan family, imprisoned for 500 years. So what will Zhu Yan's fate be? Will she survive and return to her original world, or will she become Sima Chao's prey? The clock struck midnight. The light on Zhu Yan's desk remained on, and her boss's voice came through the phone. Zhu Yan, are the designs finished? The client is pressing hard, the boss urged. Zhu Yan sat at her desk, fingers flying across the keyboard, replying, almost done, almost done. Almost done. After a long while, Zhu Yan finally leaned back in her chair, stretched, and sighed wearily. Finally finished. Oh, right. Let me introduce myself. This is Zhu Yan, an ordinary person working for capitalism, whose biggest dream in this mundane life is to be carefree. She clasped her hands together and silently prayed. This devout follower is willing to lose 5 kilograms, just for a world without overtime. Unexpectedly, the soul within Zhu Yan suddenly lit up. Even she couldn't believe it. Completely unexpected that her wish would actually come true. Unfortunately, the wish came true in another world. Zhu Yan, still with her hands clasped together, returned to another reality. Then a voice called out disciple Tingyin. A man she didn't recognize at all approached Zhu Yan, calling her name, startling her. Liao Tingyin, what are you doing meditating? Zhu Yan was shocked. The surrounding scenery had completely changed, and a strange man had appeared beside her. Who is Liao Tingyin? Who is Liao Tingyin? Where's this place? Wasn't I just lying in bed, getting ready to sleep? Is this the legendary transmigration? Zhu Yan trembled with fear, her vision darkening, not even daring to move. I've become a disciple of the immortal protector of Qinggu Tian in the Xianfu sect, named Liao Tingyin, she murmured. But why don't I have any memories? Why isn't there a beginner's guide? Am I going to die? Just as she was thinking this, her master said gently, Tingyin, you don't have to work so hard. You joined later, your cultivation is low, and in terms of seniority, you're the last. This time, the 8 immortal protectors of Xianfu Hushan are selecting outstanding disciples, and the Qinggu Tian immortal protector is just making up the numbers. Zhu Yan stood dumbfounded for 5 seconds. What the hell? I've transmigrated to a cultivation world, and I've become this handsome guy's disciple. After speaking, Master waved his hand, dispersing the clouds and pointing downwards. Our ancestor has been in secluded cultivation on Three Saints Mountain for 500 years, and today he is finally coming out. We, the Xianfu Hushan sect, are a major righteous sect, and encountering such a grand event, not only our Xianfu Hushan sect, but the entire cultivation world is honored by it. Saying this, Master pointed to a spot below the clouds for Zhu Yan to see. Zhu Yan exclaimed, so many people. She turned her head and asked Master in a low voice, Master, is that ancestor easy to get along with? Master smiled kindly and comforted Zhu Yan, disciple, don't worry. The ancestor's Daoist title is Qi Zong Ren Ci. His Dao position is extremely high, even higher than our sect leader. He is the sect leader's martial uncle and also his martial aunt. Although I haven't met the ancestor, just hearing this Daoist title, I know he must be a magnanimous and benevolent person. That's good. Zhu Yan breathed a sigh of relief. Afterwards, Zhu Yan and Master went to the designated meeting place together. It was her first time riding the wind and clouds like an immortal, and she found it novel. Upon arriving, Zhu Yan's jaw almost dropped. Why are they all female cultivators? Is this ancestor choosing a concubine or forming a girl group? One of the female cultivators happened to see Zhu Yan and her master and turned to ask, which lineage is this junior sister from? The speaker was Mu Huangsheng, the granddaughter of the Xianfu Hushan sect leader. Master introduced, greetings, senior sister. Tingyin is my disciple. Zhu Yan also bowed shyly, greetings, martial aunt. Inwardly, she couldn't help but sigh. My goodness, so many beautiful women. However, Mu Huangsheng smiled meaningfully, Oh, so it's not a junior sister, but a great benevolence. The female cultivators behind her also sneered at Zhu Yan. With such low cultivation, a gust of wind could blow her over. Exactly. Hearing this, Master turned and comforted Zhu Yan. Don't be stressed. It doesn't matter if you are selected or not. Master won't blame you for this. Zhu Yan verbally agreed. Yes, Master, but her heart was cold as ice. What pressure do I have? I'm just here to go through the motions. Just as this thought crossed her mind, a loud bell suddenly rang from within the tower, and an extremely mysterious spiritual energy suddenly spread outwards. The light flickered, and the beams gradually coalesced into a form in front of everyone. In the mysterious light, Shi Tianlu, the sect leader of the Immortal Mansion's guardian sect, appeared. Everyone was amazed that the sect leader had personally appeared. A few years ago, when the great demon appeared and wreaked havoc on the world, only the 4 palace lords showed up. Today, it was just a selection of a few people, yet everyone was present. It seemed that the higher-ups attached great importance to this election. Shi Tianlu stepped forward and announced in a loud voice, "Today, 100 people will be selected from the disciples present to serve Dao Junqizong." As his voice fell, Shi Tianlu and the 4 palace lords set up a formation. Suddenly, a beam of light enveloped those who had been chosen, including Zhu Yan. Everyone was overjoyed, except for junior sister Zhu, who froze in place. She muttered softly, "Didn't I say I was just here to go through the motions? How did I get chosen? I thought I wouldn't be selected, but I was." With a swoosh, the beam of light teleported those selected away. Zhu Yan desperately reached out. No, the beam of light had already transported everyone to the 3 Sacred Mountains Palace. The atmosphere there was gloomy, and the palace before them even exuded a murderous aura. After Zhu Yan and the other chosen ones landed, they looked around. She thought to herself, wow, this is the real world of cultivation. Just a random teleportation brought us here. Mu Huangsheng and her group were also among the chosen ones. She looked ahead, her face full of worry. The 3 sacred mountains have been sealed for 500 years. I didn't expect it to look like this inside. The female cultivators behind Mu Huangsheng were also nervous and afraid. Doesn't it feel a little eerie here? Wait, why can't I use my spiritual power? And what's with those chains? Suddenly, a strange noise interrupted their worries. Another female cultivator collapsed on the ground, trembling as she looked at the flowers in front of her. These flowers, they look like night-blooming cereus. How can there be so many? In contrast, Zhu Yan was very calm. These flowers are quite beautiful. Why is she so scared? Another strange noise interrupted their thoughts. The sound came from the sky, and everyone looked up to see the figures of the sect leader and the palace lords appearing through the clouds. Zhu Yan exclaimed, "This is the world of cultivation. Even voices can be transmitted through the air." Shi Tianlu's voice echoed below. When Dao Junqizong comes out of seclusion, you must find a way to attract his attention. Whoever succeeds will have a great opportunity. Dao Junqizong is no ordinary person. Serving him requires complete devotion. You must never anger him, or you'll be meeting your ancestors very soon. Remember, everything about Dao Junqizong must be reported to me immediately. Zhu Yan's face turned pale, and her heart pounded. Why does this sound wrong? Didn't they say he was a benevolent ancestor? Why does it feel like I could lose my life at any moment? She cautiously glanced at the other female cultivators. Since this ancestor is so dangerous, why not invite Buddha to suppress him? What's the use of bringing a group of white-boned spirits, snake demons, and peacock princesses? Are they here to help the ancestor calm down and cool off? Just as this thought crossed her mind, the palace in front of Zhu Yan suddenly burst into flames, and the atmosphere instantly became tense. A gust of icy wind swept over everyone, so sharp that it cut several gashes into Zhu Yan's skin. She cursed angrily, "Damn it, I'm bleeding." "Ancestor, calm down." Shi Tianlu suddenly knelt and kowtowed, pleading, "Ancestor, calm down." The female cultivators on the platform also felt the pressure and knelt down. A voice boomed, "When I get out, you'll all eat chicken." Zhu Yan's eyes widened, and she muttered to herself, "Are you sure the one about to come out of seclusion is a proper ancestor?" Shi Tianlu presented a letter. 500 years ago, shortly after you entered seclusion, my master passed away. Before he died, he left a letter and asked me to deliver it to you. Ancestor, please enter. As the words fell, Dao Junshi Zong cast a spell and summoned Shi Tianlu into the palace. Outside the palace, Mu Huangsheng and her group wondered, should we go in? Of course, we have to go in and pay our respects to the ancestor. Only Zhu Yan looked cowardly, thinking to herself, forget it, I'd better not go in. After a long while, Shi Tianlu stumbled out, clutching his head, his face bruised and swollen, clearly having been beaten. He ordered, the ancestor has come out of seclusion and does not like to be disturbed. The female disciples who are here to serve the ancestor must stay. Just as his voice faded, he and the hall masters vanished. Zhu Yan's face froze. Girl, I want to slip away too. Suddenly, a creature appeared before them, hissing, startling everyone, a snake. The female disciples screamed as a red snake blocked their path. One female disciple stepped forward, trembling, and bowed. Senior, we disciples have come to pay our respects to the ancestor. The sect master ordered us to attend to the ancestor's daily needs. The snake turned and hissed several times. Follow me. With that, the red snake led the female disciples deeper into the palace. Along the way, Zhu Yan noticed bloodstains on the walls. She froze. Could this be the sect master's blood from before? Heavens, I want to go home. After a long while, the red snake finally brought them to the ancestor. Come here. The ancestor beckoned them. The disciples lowered their heads, trembling, and bowed in unison. Only the stubborn Zhu Yan dared to steal a glance. The legendary benevolent Dao monarch, tall and imposing, was slowly walking towards them. A string of small beads was wrapped around his ankle. Zhu Yan was curious. The beads seemed to exude a pressure that could crush one's soul. The ancestor stopped in front of one of the female disciples and said in a low voice, "How audacious." As soon as he finished speaking, a flash of blood splattered before Zhu Yan. The female disciple died on the spot. Zhu Yan's heart leaped into her throat. What is going on? It's over, it's really over. Someone actually died? How terrifying. However, the dead disciple appeared strangely abnormal. Her face gradually changed after death. Someone whispered, "Isn't that Junior's sister Wanling? How did you get mixed in? How did no one notice?" Suddenly, the ancestor walked up to Zhu Yan and lifted her chin. How audacious. At this moment, Zhu Yan clearly saw the cold eyes of Sima Chao, the so-called benevolent Dao monarch. Panic surged within her. How am I audacious? I didn't do anything. Tears welled up in her eyes as Sima Chao held her chin. Heavens, this is so unfair. I'm going to die. Please don't kill me. Suddenly, Sima Chao shuddered, his movements freezing. Sima Chao released Zhu Yan's chin. She was bewildered, her tear-filled eyes blinking. Was I just saved? Sima Chao clutched his head, his face etched with exhaustion. He roared, "Get out, all of you, now!" He drove the female disciples out. Seeing the ancestor's fury, the disciples scattered like birds and beasts. Zhu Yan fled with them, glancing back in confusion. Why did he suddenly go crazy? Is this old guy insane? The air outside felt instantly fresher, the scenery of the mountains and rivers exceptionally pleasant. Zhu Yan breathed a sigh of relief. I'm actually still alive. They stood outside the 3 Sacred Mountains pagoda. Mu Huangsheng stepped forward and addressed the group. Since the sect master instructed us to serve the ancestor, we can only stay. Let's find a place to rest for now. Yun Shuo, the granddaughter of the Yun clan leader, stepped out from the crowd and retorted, "Senior sister, but the ancestor clearly doesn't want us to serve him. Staying here is just a waste of effort." That's right, that's right. A few others echoed, "Sure, Shunyue is right." Mu Huangsheng immediately pointed at Yin Shuiyue. "Stop inciting everyone." Yin Shuiyue sneered back, "Inciting everyone. Didn't you see how tragically that junior sister died just now?" Mu Huangsheng became even angrier. That person wasn't junior sister Wanling at all. The ancestor probably saw through her disguise and eliminated the threat. Oh, then who is the threat now? Yin Shiluo continued to provoke. Before they could exchange more words, a fight broke out, fists and feet flying. Whoever causes trouble here is the threat. Who's afraid of who? Zhu Yan, standing to the side, could only watch helplessly. What a mess. Wasn't this supposed to be about cultivating immortality? How did it suddenly turn into a palace drama? And a Thai drama at that, all fighting and commotion. Suddenly, a sword flew out from the crowd, nearly sending Zhu Yan to her next life. She screamed and quickly dodged, sighing inwardly. I barely escaped the ancestor. I can't die here. After a while, the scene finally quieted down. Is the fight over? Zhu Yan cautiously peeked around, but there wasn't a single person in sight. Panic set in. Did they leave me behind? Zhu Yan sighed. Respected martial uncle, please take a look at this poor, helpless niece. After a while, she stretched and yawned. Sigh, I guess no one cares. Zhu Yan consoled herself as she walked. Anyway, I'm not from this world. Maybe I can go back if I reincarnate sooner. Death isn't scary. The pain before death is. After muttering for a while, Zhu Yan simply decided not to care anymore. Forget it. I'll go get some milk tea. Wait, where can I find milk tea here? Meanwhile, Sima Chao was relaxing under a peach tree with his spirit beast, watching everything unfold. He slowly sensed the spiritual energy in the air, closing his eyes and using his divine sense. Like a spiritualist, Sima Chao heard Yin Shui West say to the crowd, high risk, high reward. You must have all heard the rumors before you came. We must win the favor of our ancestors before anyone else. This concerns the life and death of the Khanate. Then it was a mortal's dwelling. Hearing this, Sima Chao just sneered. Let me see how bold these guys really are. Let's go, he said to his spirit beast. Hearing Sima Chao's words, the spirit beast immediately panicked, thinking, why did Master suddenly change his expression? So scary. Suddenly, Sima Chao's gaze was attracted by something, and he looked to the side. He saw a figure lying haphazardly in a small pavilion not far away. He walked over and lifted the swaying curtain. Sima Chao and his spirit beast shrunk their bodies and slowly approached. Who is so bold as to sleep in front of Sima Chao? Getting closer, he saw that it was Zhu Yan lazily sleeping on the bed. Sima Chao glanced at the sleeping Zhu Yan and noticed a bamboo cup with unfinished drink beside her. He sat down beside Zhu Yan and lifted her a mask, realizing she was the boldest of all. Seeing this, Sima Chao's spirit beast muttered to itself, it's over, it's over. This person is dead. This person is definitely not going to survive. Suddenly, Sima Chao's face darkened as he stared at Zhu Yan. Even people from the demonic realm can sneak in. He then raised his hand to Zhu Yan's neck. But Sima Chao suddenly smiled again. Tell me, did those dogs from the Ganshan Immortal Pavilion deliberately send her here to anger me? Or are they really so useless that they didn't even notice this? Strangely, Sima Chao didn't send Zhu Yan to meet her maker. He thought, what does the demonic realm wanting to do to the Ganshan Immortal Pavilion have to do with me? With that, Sima Chao plucked a scale from his spirit beast. The spirit serpent was in so much pain it didn't dare to make a sound, crying inwardly, Wah, Master, didn't do anything. Why are you pulling out my scales? Sima Chao held the scale, a sinister smile appearing on his face. Perhaps, compared to those demonic cultivators, I'm more looking forward to the destruction of the Ganshan Immortal Pavilion. For the next few days, Zhu Yan spent her time leisurely in the gardens of the 3 sacred mountains. At night, she strolled and enjoyed the scenery alone. To be honest, thinking about it from another perspective, this place wasn't bad. Beautiful scenery, food and drink, and no work. Wasn't this a free vacation? Zhu Yan was in a great mood until she discovered that the leaves of the sun moon, a Dumbra flower, changed color at night. It was simply magical. Suddenly, she heard a noise nearby. Who's there? Is someone else here to admire the flowers? Zhu Yan parted the leaves and saw another female cultivator also admiring the Adumbra flowers. Hey, the flowers are so beautiful. Why are you picking them, girl? Suddenly, something caught Zhu Yan's attention, causing her to freeze. She trembled slightly, her eyes wide, but she didn't dare to move. Girl, behind you. Behind the girl, a dark figure appeared. She was completely unaware, still picking flowers, thinking, I didn't expect such a strange place to have such beautiful flowers. The dark figure was Sima Chao, his eyes filled with hatred. Sima Chao slightly raised his hand, as if about to do something terrible. Zhu Yan was so frightened that she didn't dare to move. In the blink of an eye, Sima Chao sent the girl to meet her ancestors. Zhu Yan witnessed all of this, collapsing to the ground, covering her mouth, screaming inwardly, that's terrifying. I'm going to throw up. Heaven help me. Please don't let him see me. I didn't see anything. I won't wander around anymore. I'll hurry back to my room. I absolutely can't run into that madman again. Sima Chao's figure disappeared into the night. That night, Sima Chao's spirit serpent quietly slithered into Zhu Yan's room, staring at her. Why isn't she waking up? It's impossible for her to have such poor alertness. Did she faint? Suddenly, before Zhu Yan was fully awake, she hugged the spirit serpent. Good boy, stop messing around. She was still dreaming, thinking she was holding her beloved dog. All right, stop licking me. Go away. Muttering a few words, Zhu Yan hugged the snake even tighter. Baby, are you shedding your skin? Why do you feel so strange? She slowly opened her eyes and looked up to see the spirit beast's nose pressed against her face. Zhu Yan immediately let out 2 earth-shattering F***CKs. Xiao Yan immediately switched to coward mode. Snake bro, can you take it easy? There are 100 people here. If you eat 1 a day, you can last 3 months. If you eat 3 a day like this, you won't even last 2 months. Xiao Yan silently prayed to Buddha, Jesus, Allah, and her mother for salvation. Suddenly, the snake threw Zhu Yan's cup in front of her. Xiao Yan understood. The bamboo cup, you want this? The snake nodded frantically. I'll find you a bigger one. I promise it'll be enough. Xiao Yan forced a smile. This is a drink I found in my chinkoan bag. It's a magic bamboo cup that produces endless water. The snake's eyes were filled with anticipation. Xiao Yan quickly pulled another cup out of her chinkoan bag and handed it to the snake. The snake immediately pounced on it and drank greedily. Xiao Yan sighed inwardly. Even the madman snake was like a dog. To raise a snake as big as a dog, that madman was truly something. So, back in the forest, it had accidentally drunk the water from Zhu Yan's fallen cup. Elsewhere, Sima Chao summoned Yun Xinhua and several female cultivators, seemingly to ask something. Speak, Sima Chao said. Yun Xinhua and her companions knelt below, frightened almost to the point of fainting. What are you doing here? Sima Chao smiled meaningfully. Yun Xinhua stammered. Disciple is here to attend to ancestors' daily needs. Hearing this, Sima Chao commanded, say it again. What are you doing here? Sima Chao cast a truth-telling spell, controlling Yun Xinhua and the others. Yun Xinhua trembled under the influence of the spell and blurted out, I am here to be ancestors' concubine. If I can bear a child with the Sima bloodline, the Fengshan lineage can continue. Then, by killing ancestor, I can resolve the tribulation for Kuan Fan Immortal Mansion, and our Yun family can become the masters of Kuan Fan Immortal Mansion. Sima Chao smiled grimly, as if he understood everything, then looked at the remaining 2 female cultivators. And you? Sima Chao continued to control them with the spell. They were also controlled, blurting out, I pretended to submit to Yun Xinhua, but in reality, I want to wait for the opportunity to replace her and strive to establish another palace for the Mo family, surpassing the Yun family. Yun Xinhua turned her head abruptly, shocked. Sima Chao just sneered. After so many years, it's still the same old trick, not a bit of improvement. I'm the only one left of the Sima family. If I die, Kuan Fan Immortal Mansion will be gone too. Palace Master, Sect Masters, your entire Kuan Fan Immortal Mansion will be buried with me. In another location, much calmer than the Three Saints Hall, was the Lamp Pavilion of Kuan Fan Immortal Mansion. Lotus lanterns dotted the lake's surface, some bright, some extinguished. The extinguished lamps represented those who had returned to their ancestors. The Yun family's palace master recognized the lamp. That's Xinua's soul lamp. Her soul has already dissipated. The palace master said to Shi Tianlu, Sima Chao is truly reckless. More than half of the 100 female cultivators we sent have already died. Shi Tianlu said calmly, what does he have to worry about now? If he hadn't yet recovered to the point where he could leave Three Saints Mountain, I'm afraid. Just wait and see these demons and monsters. Only a few soul lamps remained lit on the lake, still unextinguished. Elsewhere, Sima Chao's spirit snake and Xiao Yan, having drunk their fill, were sprawled on the ground, fast asleep. Suddenly, Zhu Yan sensed something and woke up with a start. A sharp abdominal pain struck, and she clutched her stomach, writhing on the ground. Why does it hurt so much? Is it that time of the month? That's not right. I don't feel any blood flow. The female cultivator's body structure is so strange. I only feel stomach pain, nothing else. The spirit snake woke up groggily and looked at Zhu Yan with confusion. Seeing her so weak that she couldn't even turn over, it was startled. Is she dying? A while later, in Sima Chao's Three Saints Hall, the spirit snake brought Xiao Yan before Sima Chao, gesturing for its master to save her. Sima Chao asked curiously, what's wrong with her? Why do you want to save her? Xiao Yan groaned on the ground, so cold. Sima Chao froze, looking at Zhu Yan in confusion. Are the Devil Realm's spies so bold? Zhu Yan, completely unaware, clung to Sima Chao and pleaded, give me a blanket. The spirit snake was terrified outside. This time, she was really done for. This female cultivator probably wouldn't survive. Unexpectedly, Sima Chao's action surprised the spirit snake. Sima Chao cast a spell to examine Zhu Yan. After a moment, he suddenly realized, so it's devil realm poison. Child's play. Saying this, he helped Zhu Yan up. The spirit snake was suspicious. What was its master going to do? Was he going to use his own blood to save this female cultivator? Indeed, Sima Chao really did that. He put his finger into Zhu Yan's mouth, letting her suck his blood. Suddenly, he abruptly realized something. This woman couldn't bite Sima Chao's finger. She couldn't drink his strawberry syrup at all. Sima Chao put Zhu Yan down and snorted coldly. Useless human teeth can't even bite my finger. With that, Sima Chao personally poured his blood into Zhu Yan's mouth. He lost so much blood, but Zhu Yan still showed no signs of waking up. Why hasn't she woken up yet? Can't my blood even cure a little bit of poison? Sima Chao felt strange. So cold. So painful. She felt like her whole body was coated in strawberry syrup. Walking on the ground, her footsteps dragged. Finally, Zhu Yan couldn't hold on any longer and collapsed, unable to stand. She looked around, thinking, if I leave this place, can I go home? But Sima Chao's strawberry syrup blood began to take effect. His blood gradually congealed within Zhu Yan's soul. Slowly, a warm feeling spread, soothing her. It's not cold anymore, and it doesn't hurt. It's even a little comfortable. Forget it. Outside, Zhu Yan nonchalantly pulled up the blanket and fell asleep. Finally, she could get a good sleep. Sima Chao and Ling, she were stunned to see Xiao Yan asleep and even snoring. She just fell asleep like that. Sima Chao thought, the demonic realm went to great lengths to send this thing in. It doesn't make sense. This woman is not simple. Sima Chao suddenly smiled wickedly. She didn't rush up to die like other fools, and she even secretly seduced that silly snake. Perhaps everything today was deliberately arranged by her. Not bad. She has some tricks, layers of schemes, worthy of that pretty face. Thinking of this, Sima Chao pinched Xiao Yan's face. The pinch made her uncomfortable, and Xiao Yan suddenly woke up. Oh my god. Ling Shi and Sima Chao were both staring at her. You're so bold. As the ancestor of slaughter, Xiao Yan switched back to begging mode. Ancestor, please spare my life. She trembled inwardly. This is the second time the ancestor has said I'm bold. It's so unfair. If I were truly bold, would I still be thinking about peeing myself now? Woo-woo. Sima Chao looked around. What are you doing here? Xiao Yan replied blankly. This disciple is here to serve ancestor. Sima Chao's gaze pierced her like bullets. He cast the truth-telling spell again. Answer me. What are you doing here? Under the effect of the spell, Xiao Yan couldn't control herself at all. She blurted out honestly, I'm here to adjust my sleep schedule and relax. Sima Chao frowned. What kind of nonsense is this? It seems the demonic realm spies have cultivated to the point of brain damage. Zhu Yan was going crazy inside. What's going on? Why did the words I wanted to say change? This guy is definitely playing tricks. This fantasy world is killing me. I didn't expect there to be truth-telling and lying bugs. Sima Chao suddenly pounced, grabbing Xiao Yan's neck. He didn't let Zhu Yan struggle, saying coldly, those old geezers in the immortal mansion are all afraid of this place. Even if the people from the demonic realm are brainless, they wouldn't dare come here to relax, unless you want to kill me. Xiao Yan struggled to speak, word by word, I don't. Why don't you want to kill me? Sima Chao brought his face close to Xiao Yan's. She could barely breathe, still managing to stammer, because there's no hatred, no grievance, no reason. Xiao Yan's words stunned Sima Chao. He burst into laughter. In this world, killing doesn't require hatred, nor does it require a reason. For example, right now, without hatred, grievance, or reason, I want to kill you. What do you think? Held in Sima Chao's grip, Zhu Yan thought, is the cultivation world really this cruel? Killing just because you want to? However, she didn't complain at all, still managing to speak with difficulty, her face bearing tears and a pained smile, I think. It doesn't matter. I can't beat you anyway, right? As soon as she finished speaking, Sima Chao's expression changed. In reality, Zhu Yan's mind had already collapsed 314 times. Oh God, when will this truth-telling and lying bug be fixed? Can't someone give me a chance to beg for mercy? What if this guy slaps me to death? When I go meet my ancestors, I still want a chance to live. Sima Chao gave a sinister smile and suddenly released his grip on Zhu Yan's neck. You want me to kill you? He pushed Zhu Yan away with both hands. But now I don't want to kill you anymore. Sima Chao stood up leisurely. Zhu Yan lost her balance and fell to the ground, coughing a few times, muttering to herself, is this ancestor a Chinibu? Sima Chao added, from now on, you will serve me. Xiao Yan froze, asking back me. Woo-woo. Oh. Xiaoyan cried before even being hit. Can I refuse? Forget it. I can't anyway. Ling Shi, watching from the side, was amused. Hee, finally someone to suffer with me. A few days later, several female cultivators approached Mu Huangsheng with a servile demeanor. Martial uncle, I don't dare to see ancestor anymore. The female cultivator said. Mu Huangsheng was puzzled. Serving ancestor, wasn't that what you wanted initially? The female cultivator immediately knelt down and pleaded, I don't want it anymore, martial uncle. I'm afraid. Has ancestor gone mad? Why else would he slaughter the inner disciples of our sect? He could even kill ancestor and senior sister. He could kill me too. Please spare me. Mu Huangsheng swept her icy gaze across the other female cultivators. Anyone else like her, get out. She waved her hand dismissively. You cowardly disciples, more timid than rabbits, can't even withstand this small test. How can you possibly catch Master's eye? With that, she proceeded alone to Sima Chao's hall, kneeling there, calculating in her heart, ready to be chosen at any moment. I am the one personally appointed by the sect master, unlike those ordinary people. Only I know that Master is of the Fengshan bloodline, know the taboo of his birth, know the tragedy he initially suffered. I understand Master better than anyone. Even Yun Shiwei is gone, and only I am still alive and well, which shows that Master still values me to some extent. Thinking of this, Mu Huangsheng declared loudly, Disciple has come to serve Master. Please, Master, take me in. Zhu Yan, watching from the side, secretly admired Mu Huangsheng. Wow, this female cultivator is truly brave. I just want to stay far away from that gloomy ancestor. But this senior sister is actively approaching him. She truly has extraordinary character. No wonder she can be a leader. I still have a long way to go. Suddenly, Mu Huangxing noticed Zhu Yan's figure and casually asked, You're not dead yet. This question stunned Zhu Yan. What a coincidence. In front of Mu Huangsheng, Zhu Yan swaggered to the entrance of the hall and said proudly, Dead. Impossible. I'm going to live until the end of time. Mu Huangxing sneered. This is Master's place. It's not somewhere anyone can just knock and enter. Zhu Yan stood there blankly, thinking, then what should I do? Master told me to come in, but the identity plate won't work, and the main gate is blocked by a restriction. What else can I do besides knock? Just as she thought this, the door opened by itself. How clever. I haven't even knocked yet. Seeing this, Mu Huangxing's eyes widened in disbelief. She stood up angrily, about to enter. Master values me. Why could she go in? If she can enter, I also... Suddenly, a strange sound rang out, and blood splattered. Zhu Yan turned around in shock, only to see Mu Huangsheng have been killed. She was completely stunned. She's dead. The hall doors slammed shut, and Zhu Yan lost her balance, nearly falling backward. Unexpectedly, she bumped into Sima Chao, who was standing right there. He responded indifferently, dead. Sima Chao caressed Zhu Yan's cheek. He pulled her closer, a cold smile on his face. Do you know why I killed her? Sima Chao explained to Zhu Yan, most of the people I killed before were because they were foolish and greedy, too annoying, so I killed them. Especially Yin Shuiwe. Her words proved she wanted to be my master's concubine, to have a child with the Sima family, so that the Fengshan bloodline could continue, and we could kill Master, eliminating a great threat to the Content Immortal Mansion, and the Yun family could become the masters of the Content Immortal Mansion. He then continued, speaking of Mu Huangsheng, but that one just now wasn't like that. She was just a specially raised puppet, nothing more. Looking at Zhu Yan's bewildered expression, Sima Chao said indifferently, compared to those with obvious greed, I hate this kind of soulless puppet even more. I can't even muster any interest in killing such a person. It's just that she was too noisy today and annoyed me. After finishing his words, Sima Chao turned and walked inside. Zhu Yan was stunned. She looked at Master's back, her face full of confusion. What is going on? Why is Master telling me all this, personally bringing me upstairs and speaking so gently? It must be an illusion, definitely an illusion. After a long while, only Zhu Yan's weary panting could be heard. Her legs were trembling as she climbed the stairs step by step. Ahead, Sima Chao continued to stroll leisurely. Zhu Yan was almost breathless. I'm so tired. I've climbed 22 flights of stairs. If I keep climbing, I'll die of exhaustion before Master even kills me. Sima Chao knew Zhu Yan was struggling behind him, doubting whether she was even a cultivator. At the same time, Zhu Yan couldn't hold on any longer and knelt on the ground, complaining inwardly, Master, please stop using your magic. I really can't do it anymore. Suddenly, the sight ahead made Zhu Yan's eyes widen. She saw a lotus flower burning fiercely, the flames extremely vigorous, yet the lotus remained completely intact. Zhu Yan curiously approached. According to common sense in the cultivation world, this kind of strange thing must be extremely precious, she speculated inwardly. Unexpectedly, Sima Chao approached Zhu Yan and asked, "Do you know what this is?" Zhu Yan was startled and awkwardly replied, "A flower. Look closer." Sima Chao pinched Zhu Yan's neck with one hand and used magic to pluck a petal with the other. "A lotus," Zhu Yan answered with difficulty, wondering if the flower had just screamed. Sima Chao seemed a little surprised. "They just let you in like this, knowing nothing." "Yeah," Zhu Yan said blankly. "No one told me anything." Sima Chao sighed inwardly. The demonic realm is truly becoming more and more incompetent. With that, Sima Chao crushed the petal in his hand. He turned and instructed Zhu Yan, "You have to come here every day and water this thing." Zhu Yan looked bewildered. "What the heck? There's a flower under the flames. Watering it won't put out the fire." But Sima Zhao didn't say anything more, just slammed the door shut, leaving Zhu Yan standing there alone. He just left like that. Zhu Yan, helpless, could only vent her frustration on the lotus. Your boss is a real jerk, assigning this weird task to a newbie on the first day, while he strolls off carefree. She grabbed a large watering can etched with National Development something company, the kind farmers used to put out fires, and scooped water from the nearby pool. "Fine, water it is. What can I do?" Zhu Yan dumped the water onto the lotus in front of her. Unexpectedly, the flames leaped up and spoke. "If you dare water me again, I'll burn you to ashes." Completely taken aback, Zhu Yan thought, "Holy crap, this fire can talk. Is this a living fire? Don't panic, I can handle this." She thought to herself and doused it again. The flames shrieked, then shrunk into a fire spirit, pleading, "Please stop watering me, it hurts." The fire spirit laughed heartily and asked Zhu Yan, "Hey, I haven't seen you before. Who are you? Why did that guy bring you here?" Zhu Yan poked the fire spirit. "I just arrived. I'm here to serve the Dao Jun." The flames suddenly became cheerful. "So you're from the Kundun Immortal Mansion. I knew someone would eventually come and rescue me from him. If you're from Kundun Immortal Mansion, don't water me next time." Zhu Yan paused. "But if I don't water you, how can I explain it to the Dao Jun?" The fire spirit asked innocently, "Aren't you his woman? Just act cute." The fire spirit's words stunned Zhu Yan. "Since when did I become the Dao Jun's woman?" The fire spirit explained confidently, even ordering Zhu Yan, "He dared to bring you here, so you must be his. You're a woman, so naturally you're his woman. What's the problem? Didn't he teach you how to act cute? Just do it. It'll definitely work. I've had enough of this." Zhu Yan couldn't stand it anymore and splashed another ladle of water. "Shut up, you crazy ancestral fire. I heard you've been locked up for 500 years. No wonder you're even more insane." The fire spirit covered its face and cursed Sima Zhao. "Sima Zhao is crazy. If you extinguish me, he'll be buried with me. You stinky woman, you dare water me. One day, when I recover, I'll burn you to ashes and scatter them in front of Sima Zhao." "Oh really?" Sima Zhao suddenly appeared, startling both the fire spirit and Zhu Yan. Silence fell. Sima Zhao destroyed all of the fire spirit's flowers. The fire spirit could only cry, "My flowers." Zhu Yan smiled wryly, thinking, "I only watered it a little." The fire spirit looked sadly at the scattered petals on the ground. "My flowers. I worked so hard to grow them." Wow, the Dao Jun is truly impressive, completely unpredictable. Zhu Yan watched Sima Zhao's retreating figure. The fire spirit breathed a sigh of relief. He's finally gone. Seizing the opportunity to escape servitude, the fire spirit tried to win Zhu Yan over. "Forget about that, Sima Zhao. You have to help me. I can give you many treasures." It pointed to the petals on the ground. "See, one petal is worth 1,000 years of cultivation. If you help me, I'll give you 20. Isn't that generous?" The fire spirit gloated. "Who cares about your offer?" Zhu Yan carefully picked up all the petals on the ground and put them into her Chinquan bag. "It's enough for me to pick up the things the Dao Jun throws away. I know these are treasures anyway." The fire spirit continued to persuade her. "If you help me, I can give you even more. Besides Sima Zhao, only I can pick the lotus petals." But Zhu Yan was only focused on picking up the petals, thinking 1,000 years of cultivation. What if I use it wrong and die instantly? That's how it always goes in novels. After collecting the petals, Zhu Yan put the bag away, thinking, watering task complete. Time for bed. Seeing that its persuasion was ineffective, the fire spirit angrily cursed Zhu Yan. You don't even care about such a great benefit. All you think about is sleeping. You're such a fool. Suddenly, someone splashed water on the fire spirit, making it shriek. It was Sima Chao's spiritual beast. Seeing it, the fire spirit cursed, "You snake dog. That woman already watered me, and now you're doing it too." But no one paid attention to the fire spirit's words. Zhu Yan took a bamboo cup out of her chinkoan bag and asked the snake, thirsty again. Soon, Zhu Yan brought a large basin of water for the spiritual beast, which was overjoyed. Zhu Yan said, "All the water in this bamboo tube is for you. Drink slowly." Seeing that they couldn't be persuaded, the fire spirit cried in anguish. "Ooh, it's so unfair. You all listen to Sima Chao. You'll all die a horrible death." Zhu Yan sat next to the snake and sighed. "It feels like raising a dog." She turned and asked the snake, "Hey, buddy, are you also watering the flowers? Do you know when we can get off work?" The snake raised its head and pointed in a direction. Then it took Zhu Yan with it and left. Zhu Yan was very excited, understanding in her heart that a senior employee is always more reliable than a lousy boss. Following a senior employee is definitely the right choice. The snake led Xiao Yan to a room with a gloomy atmosphere, a curtain hanging in front. "Brother, let me ask you, why did you bring me to the bathhouse after work? Are we supposed to take a bath after work? But it's so cold here. Who would take a bath?" Xiao Yan walked in while rubbing her arms, then suddenly froze, her face flushing red. It was Dao Juan's bath. Sima Chao was soaking in the water, separated by the curtain and a few white flowers. His refined figure was faintly visible. Xiao Yan shyly covered her face, screaming inwardly, "Oh no, I actually saw Dao Juan's nipples. Will I be silenced?" She quickly tugged at the snake, wanting to slip away. Let's go, let's go. Getting caught peeking at Dao Juan bathing is a capital offense. This snake isn't trying to set up a colleague, is it? You're too heavy. Suddenly, Sima Chao spoke. "Come here." Xiao Yan felt as if struck by lightning, thinking this is it, I'm done for. She hurriedly pleaded with Sima Chao for mercy. "Dao Juan, spare my life. I didn't know this was your bath. I've already watered the flowers. Maybe..." She hesitantly looked at Sima Chao. He looked at her quietly, without responding. Zhu Yan fearfully asked in a small voice, "Can I get off work now?" The words "get off work" made Sima Chao pause. Seeing that he didn't reply, Xiao Yan trembled all over, thinking, is Dao Juan so silent because he still wants to kill me? Suddenly, Sima Chao nodded. "Go." Upon hearing these words, Zhu Yan immediately ran out, as if fleeing for her life. Sima Chao watched Zhu Yan leave from the bath, an indiscernible emotion flashing in his eyes. In just a few days, Xiao Yan had adapted to her new job. Her colleagues were all friendly, and she even clinked cups with Sima Chao's spirit snake. Every drop was drunk clean. Sima Chao often didn't appear, which made Zhu Yan secretly happy. With Dao Juan absent, she could slack off in peace. Xiao Yan's work involved dealing with a fire spirit. Although the fire spirit loved to curse and spew fire, it could be handled with just a splash of water, a hot-tempered newbie. She even moved into the Three Sages Hall, completely solving her commute problem. She boasted triumphantly, "Brothers, look, I brought my folding bed and quilt. No more mountain climbing every day. I'm so smart." Zhu Yan sprawled on the bed, sighing lazily. Actually, this isn't bad. Suddenly, she felt something was wrong. Her face was covered in sweat. What's wrong? A gloomy, oppressive aura surrounded Xiao Yan's bed. Opening the window, she felt a wave of heat wash over her. How can I sleep like this? My face. The fire spirit was right beside her, mocking Zhu Bandi, making her exasperated. What are you laughing at? The fire spirit laughed triumphantly. Today is the new moon. The Three Sages Mountain only sees a new moon once every 500 years. So what about the new moon? Xiao Yan wondered. This world was truly strange. A new moon only appeared once every 500 years. Suddenly, she heard footsteps approaching. The heat around Zhu Yan suddenly changed, becoming so cold that she hugged herself. Why did it suddenly get so cold? Sima Chao emerged from the darkness, carrying a gloomy aura. Zhu Yan recognized him at once as Dao Juan. Looking at Sima Chao, Zhu Yan thought, what's this guy up to now? Sima Chao walked to the blood lotus and reached out to absorb its flame power. Instantly, Sima Chao was enveloped in a thick blood-colored energy. Zhu Yan watched, wary. I don't want to see any more of Dao Juan's secret techniques. Xiao Yin immediately pulled the covers over herself and pretended to sleep. Time to use my playing dead technique. I'm dead. I didn't see anything. Unexpectedly, Sima Chao actually lifted the blood lotus in front of her. Even more unexpectedly, he brought the blood lotus close to Zhu Yan. She kept her eyes tightly closed, only able to sense I didn't see anything. Why is there suddenly a light fragrance? It smells so good. I feel instantly energized. Xiao Yan cautiously opened her eyes, feeling like she had just drunk 3 cans of Red Bull. Sima Chao stood before Xiao Yan and suddenly smiled gently. Do you know what this is? It's a red lotus flower. Zhu Yan looked at Sima Chao with some weariness, lamenting inwardly, I've fallen under his truth spell again. Didn't he already ask me this? Why is he asking again? Sima Chao held up the blood lotus and explained, wrong. This is the coagulated blood flower from Phoenix Mountain. Do you know what it's used for? Zhu Yan blurted out. 1 petal can be worth 1,000 years of cultivation. Sima Chao nodded. Correct. But without my blood to neutralize it, even a small piece will explode into a mist of blood. Zhu Yan wailed inwardly. Mother, I said this thing shouldn't be eaten carelessly, or I would have exploded into a blood flower long ago. Thankfully, I'm naturally lazy. Sima Zhao used the truth spell on Zhu Yan again, asking, do you want to kill me? Zhu Yan was taken aback, wondering what was wrong with her master today, repeatedly asking questions he had already asked. Did she look like a murderer? Thinking this, she replied, I don't. As soon as she finished speaking, Sima Zhao suddenly handed her the blood lotus here. Xiao Yan was completely bewildered. Even if it was a treasure, she couldn't use it. This stingy master was giving her the box without the key. Was he playing with her? Sima Zhao asked again, are you cursing me in your heart? Affected by the truth spell, Xiao Yan honestly nodded. Sima Zhao didn't get angry after hearing this, but instead threw his head back and laughed. This action startled Xiao Yan. Tonight, her master was exceptionally amiable and even laughing like this, but this laughter seemed incredibly creepy. Suddenly, Sima Zhao lunged forward and grabbed Xiao Yan's neck. You think I'm being kind today, don't you? Guess why the blood condensation flower suddenly fell. Sima Zhao uttered a shocking sentence. Because I'm dying. Xiao Yan wailed inwardly, starting to think about her own memorial tablet. Was she going to die too? Suddenly, Sima Zhao released his grip on Xiao Yan's neck. Caught off guard, Xiao Yan thought, oh no, he's not going to kill me, is he? Before she could recover, several figures flashed before Zhu Yan's eyes, and she blurted out, holy crap. A group of cultivators charged in, swords drawn, aggressively attacking Sima Zhao. Sima Zhao swept a cold glance over them, his expression murderous, eager to visit the underworld. Are you? The female cultivator at the front was struck by Sima Zhao's palm and crashed into the wall. An immense surge of power erupted from him, radiating killing intent. Severely injured, the female cultivator still managed to say, how is this possible? Wasn't it said that you're at your weakest on the night of the new moon? Sima Zhao said indifferently, that's right. I've been trapped here for 500 years, my cultivation suppressed, tortured daily. The first night of the new moon is indeed when I'm at my weakest. The blood condensation flower suddenly flew out of Zhu Yan's hand and returned to Sima Zhao. A meaningful smile appeared on his lips. If you don't act now, there will be no other chance after tonight. Zhu Yan couldn't help but complain inwardly. This was the first time she had seen someone tell those who wanted to kill him about his own weakness. This old man was either crazy or looking for death. The female cultivator didn't waste any words. She jumped up and launched another series of attacks, several of which nearly hit Zhu Yan, who just wanted to stay out of trouble. She trembled inwardly. Wasn't it said that spiritual power couldn't be used here? How could these people fight so fiercely? She was getting caught in the crossfire. Sima Zhao remained calm, continuing to use the power of the blood condensation flower. With a flick of his finger, all the attacks launched by the female cultivator were reflected back, striking her and worsening her injuries. Sima Zhao used the same technique on the other cultivators. No one was spared. Filled with resentment, the female cultivator said to Sima Zhao, your primordial spirit isn't injured at all, and you're not affected by the new moon. You deliberately lured us here to die. I thought you hadn't noticed us, but it turns out you knew all along. It's a pity I'm just a pawn being used. Sima Zhao handed the blood lotus to Xiao Yan again and said indifferently, you're wrong. My primordial spirit is indeed injured, and today is indeed when I'm at my weakest. If you want to kill me, This is indeed a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. However, even though I'm this weak, you're still too weak. As Sima Chao spoke, blood trickled from the corners of his mouth. Zhao Yan was speechless. Master, you're uttering earth-shattering words while blood drips from your mouth. You'd even anger your ancestors. Sima Chao wiped the blood from his mouth. Back then, I killed all the elders and the sect master of the immortal god sect. Now, you people also want to kill me. How utterly presumptuous. The female cultivator struggled to her feet, gripping her sword. This is my master's sword, the Moonflower Sword, the inherited sword of our Moonflower sect. You killed my master back then, and I will avenge this grudge today. The entire fallen Sima clan is within these mountains. We have long severed ties. With that, she swung her sword at Sima Chao. Even Zhao Yan, standing to the side, could feel the tension in the air. The wind howled, the sword light was blinding, making it impossible to open her eyes. Was this what fighting was like? Terrifying. Suddenly, a hand reached out from behind Zhu Yan. She turned around in fright, only to see her master chanting an incantation, deflecting the female cultivator's attack. Even with a severely injured primordial spirit, Sima Chao would never admit defeat. Zhu Yan could only cower, trembling. It was too frightening. She just wanted to live in peace. Suddenly, there was a whooshing sound. Zhu Yan felt the atmosphere quiet down again. She stood up and called out, "Master." Sima Chao was right in front of her, clutching his chest, his expression pained. "Ancestor, are you all right?" Zhao Yan anxiously rushed to Sima Chao's side, asking worriedly, "No way. Is the boss this badly injured?" Suddenly, the female cultivator lying on the ground shouted at Zhao Yan, "Lu Tingyan, I recognize you. You're a disciple of Qing Jiuqian. Your master still has to call me martial ant." Sima Chao no longer has the strength to resist. Kill him quickly. As long as you mix Sima Chao's blood with the moon condensing flower from the sealed mountain, you'll instantly gain profound cultivation. Then, use my moonbeam sword to take out his heart and place it in the stone pit over there, and he will truly die. Zhao Yan looked around blankly, still trying to figure out what the cultivator was talking about. Ancestor really didn't seem to be doing well. Just then, Sima Chao suddenly collapsed to the ground, unconscious. Zhao Yan was terrified, thinking, could Ancestor really be dying just like that? Sima Chao, not yet dead, gave Zhao Yan a faint smile. "That's right, come and kill me." "Do it, kill me," Sima Chao said. Zhao Yan was completely bewildered. What was this Ancestor up to? Was he really in that much pain? Sima Chao even pointed at his own chest, but Zhao Yan's attention was drawn to the wooden planks behind him. A thought struck her, and she understood. He was lying there, his back all scraped up. It must be very uncomfortable. It seemed she needed to help him. Zhao Yan muttered, frowning. Just as everyone thought she was about to kill Sima Chao, she used all her strength to help him up. Then she settled Sima Chao on the bed. He looked at Zhao Yan with a bewildered expression. Zhao Yan said sweetly, "Ancestor, is this more comfortable? Make do with this for now. I'll get you a new bed later." The cultivator, ignored by Zhao Yan, was furious. "Lu Tingyan, what are you doing? Kill him quickly. He's the demon lord. If he doesn't die today, more people will die in the future. You're playing with fire. You'll regret it sooner or later." Zhu Yan covered her ears, blocking out the noise. She thought, I've lived for over 20 years and haven't even killed a chicken. You think a few words can make me kill someone? Impossible. I'm just an innocent bystander, watching the show, not getting involved in these grudges and disputes. Then she looked at the ancestor lying beside her, wondering, why does everyone in this world want to kill? This world has nothing to do with me, and these people have nothing to do with me. Why should I listen to that woman? I have no grudge against Sima Chao. She thought, I won't kill him. It's simple. Why complicate it? Lu Tingyan, Sima Chao suddenly spoke. Ancestor, Zhao Yan responded. She immediately rushed over, patted Sima Chao, and anxiously asked, are you all right? Do you have any last words? If the boss really isn't going to make it, I have to reconsider my life. Sima Chao immediately coughed up blood in front of Zhao Yan. Zhao Yan jumped back in fright, thinking this is really bad now. Zhu Yan panicked, thinking there should be some miraculous medicine here, right? Where is it? Should I go look for it? Suddenly, Sima Chao seemed to realize something. He suddenly pulled Zhu Yan to his side. In the next second, Sima Chao picked up Zhu Yan and soared into the air. Zhu Yan didn't react at all. Just as they flew up, a huge explosion erupted below for some unknown reason. After getting away from the explosion, Zhao Yan still looked bewildered. What has happened? So much had happened tonight. Could his previous weakness have all been an act? Sima Chao looked at Zhu Yan with a meaningful smile. Don't worry, I won't let you die. He raised his hand. a fierce flame burning in his palm. "You can't die," Sima Chao said, flicking his wrist. The flames spread across the 3 sacred mountains, merging with the chains. The others trapped on the 3 sacred mountains shouted anxiously, "The fire has blocked the path. We can't get out." How can Sima Chao still move? Are we trapped? Someone named Tian Jiang quickly pleaded with Sima Chao, hidden benevolence Dao monarch. "This is all a misunderstanding. Our Tianji lineage never meant any offense." Seeing that Sima Chao's anger hadn't subsided, Tian Jiang pointed at an old man beside him. "It's him. It's his trick." The old man didn't deny it. "So what? Don't be fooled by him. He's clearly at his limit. Tonight, if we join forces, we can definitely take him down." Sima Chao said indifferently, "Which palace's trash are you? After imprisoning me for 500 years, you've forgotten everything." Xiao Yin sighed beside him. He was still making enemies at a time like this, truly worthy of being ancestor. Admirable. Sima Chao sneered at the crowd. "Didn't I say? Even if I'm this weak, you're still too weak." With a casual wave of Sima Chao's hand, a burst of flames shot out, and countless people screamed as they were burned alive. "Sima Chao, you'll meet a bad end." Tian Jiang was stunned, thinking, "We all thought Sima Chao had been suppressed for 500 years and was already weak and close to death, but we didn't expect him to still be so terrifying." The bald old man also panicked. The Sealed Mountain clan is truly so powerful. Layers upon layers of formations and restrictions can't do anything to him. Tian Jiangyang, scared out of his wits, hastily bowed and apologized. "Dao Jun, these people were disrespectful to you and deserve to be punished. After we return, we will definitely deal with their respective branches." Sima Chao, however, seemed unconcerned and turned to ask Xiao Yin, "Look at these people, usually so intimidating, now reduced to this ridiculous state. What do you think?" Xiao Yin was stunned. Today's events were overwhelming. Her head was spinning, and she only felt. Xiao Yin suddenly blurted out, her innocent eyes wide as she looked at Sima Chao. "I just think your waist is really small." She forgot that Sima Chao had cast a spell on her and panicked. "Is this bastard using the truth spell on me again?" Sima Chao pinched Xiao Yan's round cheeks, rendering her speechless. His voice was icy. "So my waist is small." Faced with this question, Xiao Yan could only force a smile and reply, "Yes, I think it's probably because you were locked up for so long. You starved thin." Inwardly, however, she couldn't help but think, "There's nothing to eat on Mount Sansheng. It's no wonder he's hungry." Recalling Sima Chao's appearance when he was locked in the dungeon, furiously cursing all day, "Let me out. I want to eat. Otherwise, I'll kill you all." The more Xiao Yin thought about it, the more she felt she was right. This ancestor, locked up in prison with no one to bring him food, parched with thirst, no wonder his temper became increasingly strange. But she only dared to think these things, not to say them aloud. Sima Chao said dangerously, "You're right, the suffering I endured." He reached out and touched Zhu Yan's hair. Zhu Yan was taken aback. "Huh? What did I just say?" He pulled her small body into his arms, his tone sinister. "I should get it all back, bit by bit." Xiao Yan panicked. "I didn't say that." "Oh no." The power in his hand began to spread outwards, and the crowd scattered in terror, screams erupting. "Get out of the way." Xiao Yan stared blankly at Sima Chao's actions. What is he trying to do now? She saw the killing intent in his eyes as he coldly asked the crowd, "Did I give you permission to leave?" A bald elder recognized Sima Chao's movements and cried out, "No, he's going to break the formation." Ghostly shadows within the formation gradually approached, surrounding the two. Zhu Yuan asked worriedly, "What is that?" Sima Chao explained to her. The 8 great palaces set up this grand formation back then, and subsequent sect masters have maintained it. Xiao Yan finally understood. So the women the ancestor killed earlier weren't killed randomly. The man beside her was brimming with killing intent. "I've had enough of these annoying seals." Streaks of demonic energy, like black blades, pressed in on them. Sima Chao held Xiao Yin tightly, and the thick iron chains began to break, clanging loudly, link by link. The people outside could hardly believe their eyes. He's actually breaking the formation by himself. The bald elder was terrified. "It's over, we're all finished. The seal is broken, the spiritual energy." Within the endless darkness, spiritual energy gradually dissipated. Sima Chao lifted Zhu Yan high to observe the surroundings, wisps of spiritual energy swirling around them. He was calm and collected, while Zhu Yan was somewhat panicked. clinging to him and screaming. After her emotions calmed, Zhu Yan thought hazily, am I sitting on a cloud? This is the first time I've seen Ancestor smile so happily. Not that you're gonna die kind of smile, but genuinely happy. She took a light breath of the incredibly comfortable air and asked curiously, what is this? Seeming to sense the change in her body, her eyes lit up, its spiritual energy. Just one breath, and even a cultivation waste like me feels like I'm rapidly leveling up. Back then, we spent a great deal of effort setting up a grand formation on Mount Sansheng, cutting off the spiritual energy and also conveniently diverting it to various locations on the Carina main star. That's what led to 500 years of prosperity. Sima Chao has ruined everything. Fear gripped everyone's hearts. Sima Chao has been imprisoned for over 500 years. Now that he's free, he'll never let us go. What do we do? At this moment, Shi Jinyan hurried forward and bowed. Daojun Sima Chao, I am Shi Jinyan. I have met Daojun Shizong. Now that Mount Sansheng is in ruins, why not temporarily move to White Deer Domain to rest? After Mount Sansheng is restored, we will invite you to return. Shi Jinyan put on a fawning demeanor. Zhu Yan cursed him inwardly. This guy is sucking up to Ancestor even faster than me. How shameless. Shi Jinyan was afraid that Ancestor would kill a few more people in his anger, so he quickly distanced himself. As expected of a sect master, truly cunning. Sima Chao listened to him introduce himself and suddenly asked, your surname is Shi. What is your relationship with Shi Tianlu? Shi Jinyan respectfully replied, sect leader Shi Tianlu is my uncle. This madam, by Daojun's side, must have been frightened as well. Why not come to White Deer territory to recuperate? Xiao Yan, seeing him misunderstand her identity, quickly waved her hands to explain, no, She thought to herself, puzzled madam. How did I become his madam? Sima Chao nudged her shoulder, startling her. Sweat rained down Zhu Yan's beautiful face. She thought to herself, boss, what are you doing again? Making a fuss. It's not like I wanted this. Sima Chao pinched Zhu Yan's cheek with amusement. She became even more frightened. If you want to chop me up or kill me, just say it. Boss, you keep repeating this action. Are you petting a cat? Shi Jinyan, seeing the two so intimate, thought to himself, this woman is indeed not simple. She managed to get the Ancestor to bring her along and even show affection in front of everyone. Others were also puzzled. This female disciple seemed ordinary, nothing special. Why did Sima Chao take a liking to her? Sima Chao always kept his distance from women. Had the sun risen from the west? Would the cultivation world form an alliance with the demonic realm? Impossible. Facing the curious gazes below, Sima Chao made his move. He flicked his fingers, and a powerful force seemed to envelop the entire space. Painful cries echoed from all around. Sima Chao coldly ordered retreat. Under the silent night sky, the moon was bright and the breeze gentle. A group of people watched the images reflected by the lotus and discussed amongst themselves, which sect is Zhu Yan from? How is she still alive? Another disciple replied, I heard she's a disciple of true person Danyang. She's quite capable. I wonder what true person Danyang taught her that can make Sima Chao so infatuated. Someone couldn't help but chime in. If that woman can stay by the Ancestor's side, perhaps Qinggu Heaven will have the opportunity to rise and become the main branch. As they talked, Yuan Chong, the son of the Yuan family head from the Wanyu Plum Garden branch, sneered disdainfully, a bunch of fools. You still think Zhu Yan is true person Dongyang's disciple? Can't you see it was all arranged by me? Don't delude yourselves. Qinggu Heaven is too small, not qualified to serve Sima Chao. What I hold in my hand is a bargaining chip that no one else has, a woman who can catch Sima Chao's eye. As long as the goo poison in Zhu Yan remains unresolved, she can only follow my arrangements. Even Sima Chao can't save her. Shi Tianlu looked down from above and calmly addressed the crowd. All right, this is no small matter. We must thoroughly investigate. He transmitted his voice to Shi Jinyan. Jinyan, there's a female disciple named Zhu Yan, whose soul lamp hasn't extinguished from beginning to end. Do you know what's going on? Shi Jinyan replied, Grand Marshal Uncle, I'm also surprised. It seems that female disciple is quite favored by true Lord Jinkong, who constantly protects her. Unfortunately, we don't know the reason. Shi Tianlu snorted softly after hearing this. Spiritual energy flowed through his hands. Perhaps this is our opportunity. The spiritual energy passed through the lotus in the lake, gently reflecting Sima Chao's figure. Zhu Yan sat on a simple hammock in the cave and softly asked, Hey boss, What is he doing? She pondered. Is there some special ritual after killing people? The vision before her made her question life. The strange ritual grew larger, and bizarre energy surged from the lotus, seemingly illuminating the entire lake's surface. Looking at the blooming lotus and the mysterious spiritual energy, Zhao Yan asked excitedly, "Is the ritual over? Did a new one grow?" So that's how this treasure lotus grows. Just think, our own ancestor is the greatest treasure. But her excitement didn't last long. She sighed, her expression weary. "I can't take it anymore. All night, it's been assassinations and breaking formations. I can't even get a good night's sleep. As soon as I close my eyes, my whole body." Her body began to give way. Seeing Zhu Yan's exhaustion, Sima Chao softly called, "Zhu Yan." She didn't respond. Sima Chao sighed. The girl had fallen asleep again. Zhu Yan fell into a peaceful slumber. Seeing her sleep so soundly, Sima Chao couldn't help but reach out and gently caress her smooth face, his eyes full of tenderness. Zhu Yan nestled in Sima Chao's arms. Both of them were enjoying a rare moment of peaceful sleep. But then, she mumbled in her dream, such a slender waist, "I want to eat meat." The lotus in the lake emitted a dazzling light. The light was so bright that it roused Zhu Yan from her sleep. She saw Sima Chao sleeping in her arms and was greatly surprised. She panicked, her mind racing with questions. What was this? What had happened? Frozen stiff, her hand still held Sima Zhao. Outwardly calm, Zhu Yan's inner world was in chaos. "It's over, I'm going to suffocate. I just took a nap. How did I end up in bed with someone? The god of slaughter, my ancestor, is lying right next to me. What should I do? I'm so nervous." Suddenly, his face was so close, it made her incredibly embarrassed. Finally, Zhu Yan decided to stop overthinking. She gently hugged the man in her arms and patted him lightly. "Forget it. There's nothing I can't face. If there really is, I'll sleep on it." Zhao Yan drifted back to sleep, thinking she'd deal with it later. The lotuses at the bottom of the lake continued to release abundant spiritual energy. Zhao Yan didn't wake from her peaceful nap until the setting sun painted the sky fiery red. Looking at the empty space beside her, she wondered, has Shizu already left? He said that after a nap, everything would be resolved. Could it be that everything has been taken care of? Thinking this, she walked barefoot out of the cave. The fresh air at the cave entrance made her feel refreshed. The spiritual energy here is pretty good too. Not only does it let you sleep naturally until you wake up, but it also makes you feel ridiculously beautiful. Zhu Yan was full of confidence, as smug as a salted fish in water. Seeing Zhu Yan like this, the fire spirit couldn't help but appear and curse. "Waste. You're all waste. Those grandsons of the Shinju guards, they had such a good opportunity yesterday, and they still couldn't take care of Sima Zhao." The fire spirit's attitude made her even more hesitant. What side is this fiery thing on anyway? One minute, it says if something happens to Sima Zhao, it will also die because they have a symbiotic relationship, and the next it wants someone to kill Sima Zhao quickly. She looked down at Sima Zhao's back. Is Shizu down there? As if sensing Zhao Yan's gaze, Sima Zhao looked back at her, raised his hand, and waved slightly, commanding, "Come here." Seeing that Sima Zhao had noticed her so quickly, Zhu Yan nervously pressed herself against the edge of the cave entrance. Is Shizu really that scary? How can he detect me with just a glance? After going down, she said with a dark expression, "I'm here, but I didn't see Shizu." Suddenly, Sima Zhao's cold voice sounded behind her, startling her. "Why are you so late?" The suddenness of it made Zhao Yan stumble and nearly fall. As she was about to fall face first, the only thought in her mind was, "Oh no, these flowers are Shizu's treasures. I absolutely can't crush them. Those girls who died from picking the flowers are a lesson learned. Even if my face gets smashed, I can't touch those flowers." But before she could fall, Sima Zhao reached out and caught her. Zhu Yan once again fell into that familiar, firm embrace. Her mind raced. "It's over. This looks way too much like I'm throwing myself at him. Won't he misunderstand?" Looking up at Sima Zhao, Zhao Yan forced a smile and said respectfully, "Shizu." Inwardly, she was encouraging herself, whatever, as soon as Shizu's system malfunctions and he asks, "Woman, are you trying to throw yourself at me? I'll be able to prove my innocence." Seeing her attitude, Sima Zhao said coldly, "Save it." His attitude made Zhu Yan so embarrassed she wanted to bang her head against a wall. "Oh my God, I've seen that you're such a pervert look too many times. Hurry up and have a system malfunction so you can tell the truth. Hurry up so I can say what I really mean." Sima Zhao suddenly asked, do you know what this is? Zhu Yan, still a little annoyed, replied, Sun and Moon Adumbra. In her mind, she was still cursing. Seriously, why hasn't the system malfunctioned yet, so I can tell the truth? He continued to ask, then do you know where this flower came from? She replied directly, no. Sima Chao picked up the flower and said in a light voice, the seeds of the Sun and Moon Adumbra are the bone jade left behind after the death of the Sima clan. One piece of bone jade can grow one Sun and Moon Adumbra. There used to be a lot of bone jade. I scattered them all here. They grew into these flowers. This information made Zhu Yan suddenly realize, so this is a graveyard. With so many Sun and Moon Adumbra, how many people must have died? After the sun sets, the flowers and leaves of the Sun and Moon Adumbra will change color. He asked her, isn't it beautiful? Zhu Yan forced a smile and said, it's beautiful. Sima Chao said casually, then I'll give you one. Pick one yourself. This offer stunned her. Why do I have a bad feeling about this? He continued to tell Zhu Yan, pick one. It is said that after the death of the Sima clan, the bone jade of the wicked will grow into a highly poisonous Sun and Moon Adumbra, while the bone jade seeds of the virtuous are a panacea that can cure all poisons. She thought miserably, they all look exactly the same. I can't tell them apart at all. Finally, Zhu Yan casually picked a flower. Seeing her still standing there safe and sound, Sima Chao couldn't help but praise her. You're still standing here, which means the flower you picked must be a medicinal herb. You're lucky. Zhu Yan responded somewhat absent-mindedly. She really didn't look well, her voice growing weaker. That's good. The Adumbra flower slipped from Zhu Yan's hand. She closed her eyes wearily and collapsed into Sima Chao's arms. Seeing her motionless, he quickly called out, Zhu Yan. After being poisoned, Zhu Yan continuously groaned softly. It hurts, it hurts. She didn't know whose memory this was at all. This pain was countless times more intense than anything she had ever experienced. The young woman in the memory screamed desperately, no, let me go. She was dragged away, pleading constantly, he's my brother, I can't. But the person coldly reprimanded, Sima, you and he have the responsibility to procreate and continue the Fengshan bloodline. What about my brother? The Sima family bloodline must be pure. You and your brother are the only two remaining members of the Sima family. Don't be stubborn anymore. Sima collapsed to the ground. Someone approached. She looked up, her eyes full of fear. Not my brother, but a brother still did that to his sister. The young woman could only grit her teeth and endure. Later, she gave birth to a baby boy. That child was Sima Chao. The newly awakened child immediately cried out for his mother. The sound of a rattle rang in his ears, soothing the little him. Sima gently asked, Jiao, are you awake? Another memory flashed. Two people embraced in a sea of fire, screams echoing around them. The Sima family has gone mad. He suddenly went berserk, burned down most of the place, and finally killed himself. Sima froze upon hearing this. A group of people threatened Sima, your brother, that person, your lover, betrayed the responsibility of the Sima family. This is an unforgivable sin. You must bear a daughter with Sima Chao. Sima tightly hugged the crying child, almost lifeless. Finally, she made a difficult decision and strangled her own son. Sima Chao pleaded desperately, I don't want to. The group of people continuously ordered Sima, when Sima Chao is a little older, you must quickly unite with him and give birth to a child. The Fengshan bloodline must not be broken. Sima Chao cried, Mother, if the first one isn't a daughter, then keep giving birth, keep giving birth. Aren't you used to it already? Sima Chao gradually lost his strength. As a mother, she ultimately couldn't bring herself to harm her son. Sima Chao stared blankly at everything in front of him. As a child, he could only watch helplessly as his mother committed suicide in front of him. Sima said painfully, my son, let all end here. He felt his mother about to leave. Mother. His calls went unanswered. Only heart-wrenching cries echoed in the air. Sima, no. The lotus flower burned, and Zhu Yan suddenly woke up from the dream. She found herself surrounded by darkness. Where is this? Her hand touched the lid. So heavy. Is this a coffin? Was I buried alive? The lid was pushed open, and Sima Chao's figure gradually appeared. She was shocked. Sima Chao. Sima Chao coldly urged, "Since you're awake, come out." Zhu Yan said angrily, "You actually stuffed me into a coffin. What are you trying to do?" But he just asked indifferently, "What are you talking about?" She replied dejectedly, "Nothing, forget it. I won't say anymore. I won't curse you anymore. You've suffered enough. Your whole family has been harmed so badly by those monsters from the Kongsang Divine Guard. No wonder some went mad, some died, and some are still killing." Sima Chao quietly observed Zhu Yan's expression, moved closer to her, gently pinched her chin, and guessed, "Do you want to curse me?" Zhu Yan honestly blurted out, "Yes." Inwardly, she wailed, "Ancestor, how did I speak my mind again?" Sima Chao watched her with interest, then try it. She didn't disappoint him, starting to curse like a machine gun. "You big idiot, I understand." Her soul, hearing this string of forbidden words, silently bid farewell. "Goodbye, my dear friend." Zhu Yan thought desperately, "I finally managed to push open the coffin lid, but now it seems I'm going to be put back in. Am I really going to rest in peace down here?" But before she could wallow in sadness for long, she heard him laughing beside her ear, startling her. "What's wrong? Are you so angry you've gone silly?" Sima Chao stopped laughing, his gaze becoming unreadable, making her nervous. What is he going to do now? He slowly wrapped his arms around Zhu Yan's waist, lifted her up, and said gently, "Let's go." She was still confused. "Huh?" Sima Chao carried her away. Zhu Yan asked curiously, "Where are we going, ancestor?" The two rode away on a giant black snake. She took the opportunity to ask Sima Chao for information. "Why did my grandmaster suddenly faint?" He explained concisely, "You touched a poisonous flower." Zhu Yan, pale and sweating, asked, "Poisonous? But didn't you say only evil people make the flower bloom?" Sima Chao replied indifferently, "That was a lie. Oh, too, no one is entirely good or evil, so how can a flower decide?" She understood. "Oh, I see." He continued, "If one dies peacefully and happily, a spirit flower will grow from their bones. If they die with resentment and pain, a poison flower will grow." Zhu Yan softly repeated, "Resentment and pain." She thought, "The flower I picked must be a spirit flower grown from his mother's bones." Her pain was so intense, it even affected me, giving me a splitting headache. He must be in a lot of pain too. But in the end, I still have to thank him for saving me. But then she thought, thank him for what? Wasn't it because of him that I got poisoned? Thinking of this, she mentally punched Little Chao. Little Yin stomped her feet in anger, repeatedly patting her chest. "I'm so angry." But as she patted her chest, she suddenly stopped. "Wait, why do my breasts feel like they've grown 2 sizes? This full feeling is really substantial. No wonder I felt suffocated when I lay down." Sima Chao noticed her silence and asked curiously, "What's wrong? What are you thinking about?" Little Yin blurted out, "I think my breasts suddenly got bigger." She also thought, "Not just my breasts, my legs are longer too, and the skin on my hands is whiter and brighter. I'm truly radiantly beautiful." Seeing Little Yin cupping her breasts, Sima Chao was stunned. Breasts. He reached out and squeezed her breast, making her blush. "Aren't they just 2 lumps of flesh? What good is it if they're bigger?" Zhu Yan ordered the owner of the hand currently kneading her breast, "Before you say anything else, take your hand off." But he refused, so she thought to herself, "In that case, I can't be at a disadvantage. An eye for an eye, a hand for a hand." She reached out and touched Sima Chao's butt. His face immediately darkened, and Little Yin quickly withdrew her hand, thinking, "Oh my God, his look is terrifying. Help!" Her hand was suddenly grabbed. Little Yin stammered in fear, "Ancestor." Ouch. She panicked. "It's over. He's probably going to break my wrist." In this emergency, she could only save herself. She grabbed his hand and placed it on her breast. "Calm down, please. If you like them, feel free to touch." Little Yin added, "Why don't you try? They feel really good." She thought triumphantly, full and soft breasts. What man wouldn't like them? Dealing with a hothead, this little thing is nothing. Even Sima Chao felt strange. Anyone else would be dead with the slightest hint of killing intent from me. So why can she appease my anger and killing intent? Time and time again, Little Yin observed him and saw him finally relax. She thought, great, he's probably calmed down. Suddenly, he grabbed her hand tightly, wrapped his other arm around her waist, and pulled Little Yin forcefully into his embrace. Little Yan's heart skipped a beat, her pulse racing. Wait, what's going on?" she exclaimed. Wait, what is going on?" Just then, a group of people walked in and bowed to them. "Greetings, Sect Master." Sure Tianlu reported to them. "Sect Master, Madam, please make yourselves at home at White Deer Cliff. Everything has been arranged." In everyone's eyes, Little Yin, was the woman who had captured the sect master's heart. Zhu Yan thought indignantly. I said I'm not his wife. Seeing the sect master holding her so intimately, Shi Tianlu became even more convinced that the sect master had fallen for this female disciple. He added, if you have any other instructions, please don't hesitate to ask. We will do our utmost to fulfill them. The disciples beside him echoed, the sect master speaks truly. Sima Chao coldly ordered, get out. Everyone responded, yes. Back in the room, a servant girl had brought new clothes for Zhu Yan. Madam, these are the new clothes prepared for you. Zhu Yan's eyes lit up when she saw the quality of the clothes. These clothes are so beautiful. I have to dress up properly, truly like a woman. She enjoyed the pleasure of changing clothes, thinking happily, oh my God, suddenly having the figure of a peerless beauty, I feel like I can live 100 years longer. Being beautiful is wonderful. She was changing when Sima Chao suddenly barged in, startling her with a scream. Zhu Yan awkwardly covered herself, muttering inwardly, why am I covering up? Does this damned ancestor not have that thing? Or does he have bad taste? He touched my breasts without any reaction, completely ignoring my great figure. Sima Chao didn't care at all and dragged her directly out of the room. Come with me. She was curious. Where to? He said indifferently, I told you before, whenever I go out, someone dies. Now, of course, I'm going to kill someone. Little Yin wasn't interested. Then I won't be joining you. Sima Zhao asked darkly, you don't want to go. Xiaoyan blurted out, I don't want to go. Inwardly, she cried, it's over, boss. You've activated my honesty buff again. Sima Zhao threatened her. If you don't go, I'll kill you first. To save her life, Xiaoyan quickly changed her clothes. I'm ready. Let's go. Sima Zhao pressed her. Why didn't you want to go? She answered frankly, because I'm afraid of seeing dead people. Sima Zhao rubbed his forehead in exasperation, thinking, why did the demonic realm send a spy who's afraid of corpses? Xiaoyan resignedly followed Sima Zhao, praying, I hope the scene ahead won't make me throw up. Suddenly, a delicious aroma wafted into her nose. Was it the smell of meat? Oh my God, I haven't eaten meat in so long. Faint music drifted from the forest, along with someone shouting, Senior brother, bottoms up. She wondered, bottoms up? Could it be a feast? A low-ranking disciple who had never seen Sima Zhao before stopped them. Halt! Which hall are you disciples from? How dare you intrude on Senior Brother Tianshang's flower banquet? Get out! Sima Zhao released his killing aura again, and Zhu Yan sighed inwardly. Oh no, she thought, covering her face in fear. Ancestor came here to kill, and this blind fool is provoking him. Is he tired of living? A scream pierced the air. As expected, such a miserable scream. But something felt wrong. She opened her eyes to see what had happened. Wait, can dead people beg for mercy? She saw Sima Zhao holding the man upside down and dunking him in the water nearby. The other disciples pleaded, easy, Lord Onren. Xiaoyan was completely bewildered. What's going on? Sima Zhao said coldly, keep shouting. Why aren't you shouting anymore? He dunked the man's face in the water again. Keep struggling. The man kept begging for mercy. Xiaoyan thought the motion resembled a giant turtle and couldn't help but laugh. Hearing her laughter, Sima Zhao stopped and called to her, come here. Eat whatever you want. Her eyes lit up as she looked at the table before her. This feast is quite lavish. After the two had eaten and drunk their fill, they set off again. Xiaoyan thought, I haven't even digested this free meal, and Ancestor is dragging me to Lingyao Mountain Terrace. I wonder what kind of trouble he's planning this time. Lingyao Mountain Terrace gradually came into view. Shi Tianlu bowed respectfully. Sectmaster, what brings you here today? Sima Zhao got straight to the point. All of you, get on the platform. You have one stick of incense this time to fight to the death. Determine a victor. If it's a draw, then you all die. Hearing this, he immediately wanted to refuse. Sectmaster, if you just want to watch a sparring match, why must it be to the death? Why not? Sima Zhao offered a tempting proposition. The disciples of Xianju used to rely on life or death battles to hone their skills. Now they've fallen to this. Whoever can kill 100 people today will be rewarded with a petal of the Phoenix Mountain Blood Coagulation Flower. The crowd instantly erupted. What? That's the Phoenix Mountain Blood Coagulation Flower. One petal can increase one's cultivation by 1,000 years. Sima Zhao ordered begin. The crowd immediately began to fight amongst themselves. If I have this petal, I can easily break through my current realm. Killing 100 people is worth it. The blood coagulation flower is mine. Sima Zhao covered his mouth, feeling slightly unwell. The greed of these people is truly disgusting. Xiaoyan asked with concern, Sectmaster, are you all right? He looked back at her. Only she didn't have that nauseating aura. Suddenly embraced by Sima Zhao, Xiaoyan was surprised. What's wrong? She wondered inwardly. Sect Master, they all seem to want that flower, but doesn't that flower require someone's blood? Sima Zhao explained with a cold laugh. Not my blood, the blood of the Phoenix Mountain clan. The flesh and blood of the Sima clan is inherently a spiritual medicine. Although I'm the only one left, after all these years, they must still have some usable flesh and blood in their possession. Xiaoyan finally understood. So, Sima Zhao confirmed her thoughts. It's cannibalism. In this world, where isn't there cannibalism? The crowd continued their frenzied slaughter. The blood coagulation flower is mine. Anyone who stands in my way will die. Zhu Yan also felt nauseous. Yuan Chang, seeing them embracing amidst the chaos, plotted inwardly. I didn't expect the abyssal Dao monarch to be infatuated with a woman. It seems I need to win her over quickly to prevent future trouble. He sneered. It's time to meet. After the death match ended, the two returned to their small courtyard. Night had fallen. Zhu Yan rushed towards her beloved bed. Every day is more tiring than fighting. My little bed, only you can save me. Suddenly, she saw something placed in the center of the bed. Huh, what's this? So pretty, like a love letter. The letter read, "Tonight at midnight, beneath White Deer Cliff, beside the indigo flowers, don't come and don't leave." Zhu Yan was confused. This was too vague. Could it be a secret rendezvous set up by the original owner's lover? She immediately burned the letter. I won't go. I'm not the original owner. It would be strange to go. The letter turned to ashes, its contents gradually disappearing. But she still couldn't sleep, assailed by a chill. So cold, why is it so cold? She saw someone lying next to her and realized, oh no. No wonder it's so cold. It's Sima Chao, this walking air conditioner. There's so many rooms and beds in White Deer Cliff, but he insists on crawling into my bed. Does he want to sleep with me? Impossible, but his body is cold as a corpse. Zhu Yan reached out and touched Sima Chao. Is he really dead? Phew. Thankfully, although cold, he still has a heartbeat. He's not dead. His chest muscles are still soft. Feels nice. In that case, I can sleep peacefully. But Sima Chao woke up. Are you planning to sleep just like this? He startled her. Grandmaster, you're awake. He asked again, with me here, you can still sleep. She invited, why don't you get under the covers too? Sima Chao frowned. Is that the point? Xiaoyan looked bewildered, not noticing the blood trickling from the corner of her mouth. Then what is the point? Before she finished speaking, she collapsed into Sima Chao's arms, clutching her stomach. My stomach. It hurts so much. Xiaoyan gasped, the pain intense. Sima Chao examined her, thinking to himself, the demonic realm's methods are truly formidable. Isn't she a spy sent by the demonic realm? Why does she keep getting backlash like this? He slit his wrist, using his blood to detoxify Zhu Yan. The blood dripped into her mouth. Sima Chao urged, drink, but her lips remained tightly closed. Sima Chao felt irritated. He couldn't get her to drink. He really wanted to just dislocate her jaw. Left with no choice, he could only resort to mouth to feed her his blood, complaining inwardly all the while. So troublesome. I used to kill people. When did I start saving them? Why am I even saving her? So strange. Xiaoyan finally reacted, and Sima Chao gradually felt too hot. This woman's cultivation is too low. She can't withstand my blood. Saving someone is harder than killing them. I can't stand it. In that case, she should just eat a few more sealed mountain blood-congealing flowers to raise her cultivation. Then she'll naturally be able to withstand my blood. A day passed. Xiaoyan woke up abruptly, astonished. Wasn't she suffering from stomach pain and vomiting blood last night? How is she feeling so energetic now? Is this real? She suddenly noticed a lotus blooming in her sea of consciousness. Heavens, why is there a flower in my sea of consciousness? Now she felt incredibly powerful, like she could move mountains and fill seas in the blink of an eye. Xiaoyan was brought back to reality by the movement beside her. Seeing Sima Chao lying weakly, Xiaoyan called out worriedly, Grandmaster. She noticed his pale complexion and the wound on his hand. Last night, I was in so much pain, I almost died. My memory is hazy, but it seems like he fed me blood. She recalled the taste of that blood. He saved me. The changes in my body are also because of him. Xiaoyan clearly remembered the moment Sima Chao kissed her. My first kiss is gone. She gently touched his hand. Why hasn't this wound healed yet? You're clearly a ruthless killer, so why do you always save me? I came to this world inexplicably, and I'm just going with the flow. This isn't my home. I just need to survive, and sooner or later I'll return to my own world. I called you boss before as a joke. In reality, I've always been living passively, but you've saved me time and time again. How can I remain indifferent? She remembered the original owner had a leaf of the azure bone heavenly vine, which was very effective for healing. The leaf landed on Sima Chao's wound. Sensing the change, Zhu Yan exclaimed with delight, "It's working." The first thing Sima Chao said after waking up was, "My constitution is special. My wounds don't heal easily." She asked happily, "Grandmaster, you're awake." He asked coldly, "Do you know how much of my blood you drank?" Zhu Yan only noticed now, having not paid attention before. Only now that he mentioned it did she realize. She covered her mouth. Sima Chao threatened, "If you dare throw up, I'll kill you." A maid's voice sounded from outside. "Daoju, madam, breakfast is ready." Zhu Yan quickly opened the door and asked, "What's for breakfast today?" She thought, "I need to eat something delicious quickly, otherwise all I can taste is blood." Just as the refreshments were served, a letter arrived. Zhu Yan cursed inwardly, "Damn it, this thing again." The letter read, "Meet at midnight beneath White Deer Cliff by the indigo flowers. If you fail to appear, your identity will be exposed, and you will die within 3 days." Zhu Yan finished reading, muttering to herself, "Oh no, do I have some other identity? I am doomed. If Shifu finds out, will he strike me down on the spot?" At this moment, Sima Chao snatched the letter and ordered her to go to the meeting. The person waiting there saw Zhu Yan finally appear and spoke coldly. "You made me wait so long. I asked you out so many times, and you always avoided me. Now that you're with Sima Chao, you're going to dump me completely." Zhu Yan was completely confused. What kind of ex-boyfriend talk was this? This person was most likely the original Yu Yun's former lover. She took the initiative to say, "We're over. Don't come looking for me again." Yuan Chong immediately became agitated. "What nonsense are you talking about? Don't forget your life is still in my hands. As long as I crush this bell, the bone erosion poison will take effect." Before he could finish speaking, the bell was snatched away. Zhu Yan curiously examined the bell in her hand, thinking it was some remarkable object, but it turned out to be nothing special. Without hesitation, she crushed it. Yuan Chong was stunned. "How are you still all right?" And even faster than before. "Wait, you're no longer at the qi refining stage." Yuan Chong was terrified. "I can't even tell what your cultivation level is now." Sima Chao had not only saved her, but also raised her cultivation. Looking closely, her cultivation had skyrocketed. Qi refining, foundation establishment, golden core, nascent soul, deity transformation, void refinement, body integration, Mahayana, and tribulation transcendence, all broken through. He immediately attacked. "You must die." Zhu Yan quickly raised her hands to block, thinking, "Why are we fighting again? Even though Shifu instantly pushed me to the deity transformation stage, I haven't mastered these powers yet." She gritted her teeth and dealt with it casually, unaware that her casual dealing was actually being guided by Sima Chao from the shadows. Only when the surroundings fell silent did Zhu Yan dare to open her eyes and peek. "Did I do it?" She looked at her hands with joy. "Am I really this powerful?" Sima Chao walked forward and immediately began to criticize. "You fake deity transformation cultivator. You can't even beat a nascent soul." Zhu Yan saw him and exclaimed in shock, "Shifu, you were watching me the whole time." Yuan Chong shouted in disbelief, "Zhu Yan, you betrayed me because you love Sima Chao. You're a spy for the demonic domain, and you actually fell in love with Sima Chao. How ridiculous. He's so cold-blooded, he'll kill you sooner or later." Killing intent gathered in Sima Chao's palm. Feeling the killing intent emanating from him, Yuan Chong knew he was finished. Sima Chao said coldly, "Ridiculous." A surge of power shot straight towards Yuan Chong. Zhu Yan panicked inwardly. "It's over. Shifu knows everything. Am I next?" His gloomy voice sounded, "You're a spy for the demonic domain. Tell me, should I kill you?" She muttered softly, "If you kill me now, wouldn't saving me yesterday have been a waste?" He coldly retorted, "What did you say? Speak louder." She replied, "I said you shouldn't kill me." Sima Chao asked with interest, "Why?" Zhu Yan quickly fabricated a lie. "Because I've abandoned the darkness and joined Shifu's side." He thought he had misheard. "I'm the light." She quickly corrected herself. "Ah, no, I've abandoned the light and joined the darkness." I misspoke. He asked, "So you don't want to leave me?" She answered firmly, "I don't." Zhu Yan wondered inwardly, "Wait, why did I say I don't want to? Has my depraved life already reached this point?" Sima Chao said disdainfully, "You were truly useless just now. You couldn't even beat a primordial yang stage cultivator." Zhu Yan awkwardly admitted, "I think so too. Definitely not as good as Shifu." Inwardly, she was Bufu. I've only been a deity transformation cultivator for a day who could immediately be proficient in fighting. Sima Chao pulled her closer. It's all right. Kill a few people and you'll get used to it. Zhu Yan quickly shook her head. I don't want to kill anyone. He asked coldly, what if I force you to? Zhu Yan stammered, then kill me. Sima Chao stared at her. You think I really wouldn't dare kill you? He pointed towards a distant courtyard. Zhu Yan didn't understand what he was going to do. Sima Chao led her into the courtyard. She was still curious. What is this place? He replied, Flying Pavilion. The people in the flying pavilion were also surprised. What was that just now? It felt like the entire flying pavilion was shaking. The sky gradually darkened. Sima Chao took Zhu Yan upstairs. Everyone who saw them gasped. Look, it's the Dao monarch. The next moment, everyone in the flying pavilion was driven out. Sima Chao instructed her, reflect on yourself here. You're not allowed to come out until you're done. Zhu Yan was locked in a room. Dumbfounded, Shifu drove everyone out and left me here alone to reflect. So, with the boss gone, I get a day off. Xiaoyan looked up at the night sky and sighed. Wow, the moon is beautiful tonight. She wished every day could be this peaceful, just leisurely lying in bed, the epitome of happiness. Sunlight streamed through the window, rudely awakening Zhu Yan. Ugh, is it morning already? She thought. Suddenly, a voice popped up. All you do is sleep. Zhu Yan startled, finding her master, Shifu Sima Chao, lying beside her. What are you doing? She asked, reaching for his hand. Horrified, she discovered she had transformed into something. What's with these paws? It was Sima Chao's doing. Zhu Yan demanded, this is your work. Why did you turn me into this? Change me back. Sima Chao picked her up, laughing. I didn't do it on purpose. You did this to yourself. I gave you a few shape-shifting pills. They transform you into the form you most strongly envision. Zhu Yan was mortified. She had turned into an otter. Are you crazy? Why would you give me something like that? She scolded. Sima Chao roared with laughter. That's right, an otter. Zhu Yan pleaded with him to change her back, but Sima Chao said, stop fussing. Let's get out of here. With that, Sima Chao carried her out of the flying pavilion. Zhu Yan was bewildered. Where are we going? He simply sneered, to find someone. A while later, Sima Chao brought Zhu Yan to a place called the Yan Estate, guarded by soldiers. A furious voice erupted from within. You unfilial child. You finally decided to come home. The Yan family head berated Sima Chao. You spend all your time fooling around outside. You'd be better off staying home and having some children. Sima Chao was indifferent to the head's nagging, calmly inquiring about the whereabouts of a little girl. The Yan family head realized with horror that this person wasn't his son at all. Who are you? He demanded sharply. Sima Chao replied nonchalantly, I'm your ancestor. Zhu Yan thought he might be telling the truth, as they had visited a brothel looking for young Master Yin before coming to the estate. Zhu Yan was a little scared. Sima Chao was clearly angry, and she dared not ask more. The old man also seemed unwilling to elaborate, so Sima Chao used his power to force the truth out of him. Where is the girl? Where did you send her? The old man hastily replied, We sent her to the northern mountains. Envoys will come for her in 2 days. We can only wait outside. We can't approach. Sima Chao was satisfied with this answer. Then I'll go with you. From Sima Chao's actions, Zhu Yan realized that he might be looking for more than just young Master Yin or the Yin family. Perhaps everyone related to his bloodline was at the northern mountains. 2 days later, while they rested, Sima Chao had a nightmare about the past. He dreamt of his mother, Sima Yi. Though gravely injured, she smiled at him, saying, The spirit fire of Mount Ling is yours now. Back then, the Sima clan of Sealed Mountain was closest to the gods. But no one knew that after the gods vanished, the Sima clan gradually declined, while families like the Shi, who once served them, grew stronger. Eventually, the Sima clan went from masters to birds in a gilded cage, carefully kept. Sima Chao's mother, Sima Yi, used her own flesh and blood to purify the spirit fire of Mount Ling and implanted the purified fire into Sima Chao. From then on, he and the spirit fire became one, their lives intertwined. Thanks to the spirit fire, Sima Chao's cultivation soared, and even the Shi clan had to be wary of him. They tried every means to appease and win him over, unaware that he could easily see through their hearts. Lies, greed, fear, all kinds of malice disgusted him. His mother, Sima Yi, once wanted to kill him, but relented at the last moment, leaving him only with tenderness, love, and cherishment. A drop of water fell, bringing a touch of warmth. Zhu Yan wondered, "It's been morning for a while now. Shifu, why aren't you awake yet?" Sima Chao woke up to find Zhu Yan splashing water on his face to wake him. Feeling tired, he said, "I just had a dream." Xiao Yan was surprised. "A dream? Ancestor, you haven't slept in centuries and you're dreaming." Sima Chao looked at Zhu Yan. He felt she was the strangest person he had ever met. He felt neither strong dislike nor deep fondness for her. She was like a wild weed by the roadside, allowing him to be at peace. Sima Chao tossed her a golden pill, causing Zhu Yan to cry out in pain. He told her to wait for him there. At that moment, someone knocked on the door. "Senior, the people who will take us to Mount Bai are here." Sima Chao disguised himself and left the room. Zhu Yan was delighted. He wasn't taking her with him. Could such good fortune be real? A short while later, on Mount Bai, immortal mist swirled, the scenery unchanged. Sima Chao, disguised as young Master Yan, listened with a grim expression to the instructions of the person opposite him. "Bring him here." A man and a woman stood before him. The young man extended his hand. "Give me the child." When the Yan family head learned Ma Chao's true identity, he became even more sensitive to the change in atmosphere. Worry gnawed at him, and he inwardly cursed. Before the two disciples noticed anything amiss, they turned and questioned him. "Does your son not understand the rules? Hand the child over. This ignorant brat dares to offend the sacred mountain." Panicked, the old man apologized profusely. Yes, I'm sorry. At this moment, Ma Chao revealed a look of disgust and sneered, "Sacred mountain." The young man standing before him, still unaware of his own insignificance, raised his hand, channeling his spiritual energy as if to show off. "Hand it over now." Ma Chao tossed the infant toward them. As the Yin family head caught the child, he noticed Ma Chao was actually smiling. The two disciples looked at the child in their hands and exclaimed in alarm, "It's just an empty shell." The young man glared at him furiously. "You've got some nerve, tricking us." The young woman beside him was equally enraged. Damn the Yin family. But they were only met with Ma Chao's mocking smile. With a mere flick of his power, he injured their vital energy. The young woman, who had been so bold just moments before, finally realized the gravity of the situation. "What's going on?" "This man kills Yuan Yang's stage, cultivators like picking flowers." She looked up, a flicker of fear in her eyes. Ma Chao no longer bothered to hide his intentions. He swept a cold glance at her. "Take me inside." The Seal Mountain clan always boasted of their pure bloodline, yet there were always rebels who left offspring with other clans. The scene shifted, becoming hazy, and only heavy panting could be heard. In a pool of water, slender hands were tightly grasped by someone opposite, emerging from the surface. Accompanied by broken gasps, a man and a woman struggled in their coupling. This was the place where those with impure bloodlines were used as breeding tools. Guards stood watch nearby, constantly urging them on, "Hurry up and work. Don't stop." These descendants, deemed impure by the Seal Mountain clan, were brought here and kept together. Ma Chao asked as soon as he entered, "So, all the collateral branches of the Sealed Mountain clan with ancestral bloodlines are here." They could only work tirelessly, driven by their overseers. After giving birth, the women were taken elsewhere. If these people were considered livestock, this place was a massive breeding farm. Women in labor were lined up like products on an assembly line, with dedicated individuals attending to the births. The fate of the infants was predetermined from the moment they were born. After they grew up on North Peak Mountain, they would continue to bear the burden of mating and procreation. But before the young woman could finish speaking, Ma Chao twisted his neck slightly, ending her life. Killing intent surfaced on his face, and he gave a chilling smile. "Sure, Tianlu, is this your secret? You're keeping the collateral descendants of the Sealed Mountain clan here like animals." With that, Ma Chao couldn't help but laugh. His spiritual power erupted, drastically altering the surroundings, and the people in the pool screamed in terror. It was said that the Qizong Dao Jun was raised by the Qingyu Dao Jun. However, he could never be as benevolent and righteous as his guardian. His temper was incredibly volatile, and his heart was filled with irrepressible hatred. It was said that a high-ranking monk from the Buddha kingdom was once invited to the Shangyun temple to pacify his inner demons. The name Qizong was bestowed upon him by that very monk. The scene changed, and the storyteller slammed his hand on the table. Ting Yang watched the crowd cheer below, sighing, "The world is truly full of hidden talents. Even many disciples of the Kenyan Immortal Palace are unaware of their ancestors' past, yet he speaks of it with such authority." In the evening, Ting Yang returned to the inn excitedly, pushing the door open. One eye-opening day, but she suddenly jumped up and screamed, "An ancestor!" A gloomy voice came from across the room. "I'm dying." He stood before her, covered in blood, his expression grim. "From the moment I was born, countless people have wanted my life, but I don't want to die. Whoever wants my life, I'll take theirs." Ma Chao suddenly looked at Ting Yang, the corners of his pale lips curving slightly upwards. "However, if you want my life now, I can give it to you. Do you want it?" Zhu Yan's face darkened upon hearing these words. She plopped down on the ground, looking small and pathetic, her mind screaming, "Why can't I keep up with this guy's train of thought? It's like I've missed 10 episodes every time." Ma Chao wouldn't let her off the hook. He suddenly picked her up. "What are you spacing out for? Didn't you say you wanted my life?" Zhu Yan was scared out of her wits and squeaked desperately, "Squeak, squeak, squeak." His face remained cold and expressionless. "Speak human language." Zhu Yan felt a bit helpless, cursing inwardly. "Damn it, I'm an otter now. Isn't this how I'm supposed to sound?" Thinking this, she could only answer honestly. Without a sound, Sima Chao sat irritably in his chair and demanded, "Why don't you have any ambition? Isn't this your mission? If I die by your hand, wouldn't it also benefit you?" The small Jian, placed on the table beside him, retorted, "My mission isn't important. I don't want to kill anyone, and I don't want your life." Zhu Yan silently argued in her heart, "So what if I'm not ambitious? I just want to lie down and live an ordinary life." But she still looked at Sima Chao with worry and said, "Why don't you find a doctor to take a look at you, or take some spiritual pills? Don't give up on treatment." Sima Chao probed, "Do you really not want it?" She answered firmly, "I don't want it." Sima Chao grabbed her again. "I'll give you one more chance." Zhu Yan subconsciously cried out, "Gigi," but what did that even mean? The young man looked at her with a strange smile and proposed, "Since that's the case, then you can die with me." The girl froze, as if a new world had opened up before her eyes, her little head completely blank. How did he come to that conclusion? Sima Chao watched her standing there dumbfounded, lost in thought. He hugged her, stroking her soft fur. "I want you dead, so why aren't you running? Why aren't you escaping? Just die like this." The expressions on those people's faces will certainly be interesting. Zhu Yan's heart was in turmoil. What should I do? He says he's dying, but he won't go see a doctor. I really can't stand him like this. He was covered in blood, and outside the rain poured down. Sima Chao said gloomily, "The Fengshan family has been completely annihilated, and the foundation of the remnant Immortal Palace is about to be broken. These flowers nourished by flesh and blood will soon wither, and the first Immortal Palace can only hold on for another 100 years. Outside, the Taoist cultivators came riding on clouds, but hearing his laughter, they were all apprehensive. Sure, Tianlu shouted condescendingly, "Sima Chao, you are not worthy of being honored as Dao monarch. You actually turned around and destroyed the 1,000-year foundation of the Immortal Palace." Amidst the sounds of collision, he warned through the window, "I absolutely cannot let you go today." Inside the room, Sima Chao sneered, "The 1,000-year foundation of the Immortal Palace. Isn't that just the Sure family's foundation? The Sure family painstakingly built White Peak Mountain. Isn't it just to completely control the remnant Immortal Palace and become its true masters?" Sure, Tianlu roared furiously and charged in. "Nonsense. Seize him." Sima Chao's eyes were sharp. "Why should you seize me?" he said. He stood up, his whole body brimming with imposing momentum, and continued, wishful thinking. Zhu Yan clung tightly to him to avoid being swept away by the wave of energy. Sima Chao used only a bit of his internal power, and the cultivators outside were beaten to a bloody pulp, wailing endlessly. One of the cultivators frowned and looked uneasily at Sima Chao, cursing inwardly. "Damn Sima Chao, he's a lunatic. He doesn't care about his life, but I still have to go back alive." Just then, a vicious hand reached out from the edge of the flames. Sima Chao appeared flickeringly behind him and grabbed his shoulder. "Where are you running?" The man screamed in terror. "Oh no." The people around him looked at each other, hesitant. Where did he come from? I can't even see him clearly. The cultivator's spiritual power had been drained, leaving only a shriveled husk. Sure, Tianlu warned in shock, "Don't let him get close. He'll suck your spiritual power and cultivation dry." Sima Chao smiled meaningfully. It's useless. But the one who understood him best was still little Yin. She thought to herself, no, Dao Monarch appears to have the upper hand, but he's already exhausted. She worriedly hugged Sima Chao, watching his body that could collapse at any moment. He looked at Zhu Yan. Are you afraid? What is there to be afraid of? Maybe what you're really afraid of is facing those dogs. She shook her head, thinking that he had been holding on. It couldn't be easy, and he was probably really reaching his limit. She snuggled gently in Sima Chao's arms. If you're really in pain, then just give up. You're dying anyway. There's no need to suffer more for them. But the aura on her body made Sima Chao stunned. He couldn't help but hold her tighter. What is she saying? I can't seem to hear clearly anymore. He closed his eyes, savoring the feeling of the moment. She was different from those people. There wasn't a trace of malice, only a strange kind of gentleness and bitterness. Just like when he held her to rest before, the whole world quieted down. At that moment, Zhu Yan felt as if she had fallen into a vast river, and the spiritual fire in her chest began to pulsate. Because of this spiritual fire within her, she constantly needed to soak in cold springs in order to coexist with it. But at this moment, that discomfort reached its peak. Her body was constantly cold, the chill piercing to the bone. Even though her blood felt like it was boiling, her whole body burning, she still felt cold. On the other side, Sima Chao's gaze darkened as he looked at Zhu Yan. Even Sima Chao himself couldn't articulate what he was feeling. He only knew that he felt at peace when he was with Zhu Yan. Yet, she was different, so fragile, having endured so much, yet always gentle, warm, soft, and light. Zhu Yan, sensing his unusual demeanor, noticed something odd and looked at him. Grandmaster. At that moment, Sima Chao blurted out, forget it, whatever. Zhu Yan, even more perplexed, asked whatever what. He muttered to himself, I suddenly realized I don't want her to die with me anymore. With that thought, he waved his hand, casting a spell and opening a path of flames. The surrounding scenery was enveloped by Sima Chao's power. Seeing this, Shi Tianlu urgently shouted, no, he's leaving. Stop him. The sect disciples tried their best, but they couldn't withstand the power unleashed by Sima Chao. Covering their eyes in pain, they cried, sect leader, that's the sect's sealing spirit fire. We can't get through. Sima Chao plummeted like a meteor, leaving a massive streak of light. Zhu Yan clung tightly to his shoulders, her heart filled with worry. He's bleeding so much. He's really strong, but he was injured before, and he's been holding on until now, as if he can't feel any pain. Now back in her human form, she wrapped her arms tightly around Sima Chao's neck, secretly admiring him. If it were me, I definitely couldn't do it. Finally, the massive streak of light crashed into a forest. After they landed, Zhu Yan, enveloped in dust, coughed uncomfortably. Her first concern was for Sima Chao, and she looked at him with fear in her eyes. Grandmaster, are you all right? A black snake appeared beside them, its hissing attracting Zhu Yan's attention. She stood up happily and walked over. Brother Snake, how did you get here? Sima Chao said softly, I asked it to come. Zhu Yan looked back at him in surprise. Ah. The black snake quickly slithered towards Sima Chao, rubbing affectionately against his neck. He stroked it gently and said, go with this fool. Get out of here. You stupid snake. I'm not going to kill you, and you don't even know how to run away. Hearing this, Zhu Yan just stood there quietly watching him, then turned and ran in the other direction. But she only pushed the black snake aside and pulled Sima Chao up. Her sudden action stunned him, and he stared at her in disbelief. She supported him and asked, what's wrong? Do you want to die? Zhu Yan calmly replied, actually, I don't either. Sima Chao asked again, weren't you going to die with me? You're not that stupid, are you? She lowered her head and mumbled, I'm not stupid. Then she explained, you saved me last time, so I have to repay you this time. Then she said to the black snake, Brother Snake, it's up to you now. Please take us away as fast as you can. The black snake looked a little surprised, but nodded vigorously. In the blink of an eye, the black snake grew 10 times its size. Supporting Sima Chao, Zhu Yan thought to herself, if it were just me, it wouldn't matter if I died, but now there's also Grandmaster. I have to try harder. With determination in her eyes, she told herself, I must escape. After settling him, Zhu Yan looked at Sima Chao and asked, Grandmaster, where should we escape to be safe? He immediately replied, nowhere is safe. If you don't leave, they'll catch up and kill you, and then I'll avenge you. Hearing this, Zhu Yan was speechless. Your logic actually makes sense. It's really useless to reason with a madman. But the person who said he would avenge Zhu Yan could no longer hold on and collapsed on her, startling her. Grandmaster, Grandmaster, wake up. Suddenly, a bright light shone into her eyes. A monk appeared ahead, and Zhu Yan felt a little scared. We've trespassed on someone else's territory. The monk calmly asked, since you two have arrived here by fate, why not stay? The master walked across the water as if it were solid ground. He stepped on the water, splashing droplets. Zhu Yan, riding on the black snake, stared at the master. The snake clearly didn't like him. Zhu Yan worriedly supported Sima Chao, who blurted out warily, Baldy. Then he warned Zhu Yan back off. She thought in surprise. Could it be that this Grandmaster has a strong survival instinct when in danger, able to recover his energy instantly and even stand up? With this thought, she anxiously said, don't push yourself. But he remained stubbornly on guard. Are you here to kill me or save me? The master opposite them radiated light, his gaze clear as he said, Amit Ba. To kill or to save, it all depends on this female benefactor. Suddenly called out, Zhu Yan pointed at herself, stunned. Then, looking at Zhu Yan beside her, she hesitantly whispered, Jar Grandmaster, what does this mean? But before she could hear an answer, as Zhu Yan collapsed, Ding Mian's heart cried out. He was clearly exhausted. Why did he force himself to stand? The monk opposite her smiled serenely, as if saying his injuries were indeed severe, but he was still in control. Female benefactor, please come with me. I have a request. A thought suddenly flashed through Ding Mian's mind. This monk seems to know our ancestors. Could he be the great master who bestowed the Dharma name Si Zong upon our ancestor? Moments later, inside the wooden hut, the monk slowly began his story. Many years ago, I had the good fortune to meet Zhu Yan. At that time, he displayed extraordinary wisdom and a profound mind. Zhu Yan, now bandaged, lay quietly on the bed. The monk added, I bestowed upon him the Dharma name, Si Zong, hoping he would show compassion to all beings and restrain the killing intent within his heart. However, I foresaw in a divination that he would single-handedly plunge the entire cultivation world into chaos. He would destroy deities, slaughter mortals, turn fertile lands into scorched earth, and transform paradises into hells. Living beings would perish, and his sins would be Tao Tan. However, this string of Buddhist beads is both a seal and a spiritual medicine. Hearing this, Ding Mian was both shocked and terrified. Was this monk here to subdue demons? The monk across from her continued, still smiling. But there's a turning point. In that bloody future, I saw a glimmer of hope. I left this string of Buddhist beads, both to suppress the killing intent and to help clear his mind. When a killing intent arises, he will experience boundless pain. But this string of wooden beads is both a seal and a spiritual medicine. Only a destined person can unlock the beads and help him overcome this tribulation. Ding Mian asked, her face full of confusion. A destined person. She seemed to realize something and pointed at herself in surprise. Master, are you saying I am the destined one? He nodded with a satisfied smile. Precisely. Zhu Yan then resentfully glared at Sima Chao and said, this whole chosen one thing is such a cliche, straight out of a time travel drama. Even a salted fish like me can't escape it. She hesitantly lifted her foot and cautiously asked then, should I try? The old monk replied with an impassive face. Zhu Yan untied the rope from her ankle without hesitation. She looked at the rope nervously. Should I really untie it? Can I just break it? The satisfied expression on the monk's face disappeared. Indeed, benefactor, you are Sima Chao's lifeline and the lifeline of all beings in the future. I hope you can guide Sima Chao and lead him towards good. Zhu Yan looked around anxiously, searching for the monk. Master, don't leave yet. Are you afraid of getting into trouble? Then, she hesitantly held the life-saving medicine in her hand. A life-saving medicine tied to my ankle, can it really be used? Oh well, it's not for me anyway. I'm almost dead, might as well give it a shot. Thinking this, Zhu Yan immediately stuffed the pill into Sima Chao's mouth. Here, eat it. As soon as the pill entered his mouth, Sima Chao's entire body was enveloped by a surge of energy. Zhu Yan was amazed. Wow, his wounds are actually healing. This medicine is amazing. She chanted happily, I'll help too, Sima. Sima Chao's entire body was enveloped in a watery light. Seeing the effect, Zhu Yan's eyes lit up with excitement. I'm a genius. With this water cocoon, our ancestor will be alive and kicking tomorrow, causing trouble again, and I can continue being a salted fish. Perfect. The little fire spirit suddenly appeared, complaining, what are you standing around for? This guy is dying. Zhu Yan looked puzzled. What nonsense are you talking about? Didn't our ancestor already take the spiritual medicine? It impatiently explained, what do you know? This medicine only treats external injuries. Sima Chao was already planning to perish together with his enemy. Even his primordial spirit is almost burnt out. Now his spiritual fu is in chaos, and his divine sense is about to dissipate. It shouted loudly, he's dying. Hearing this, Zhu Yan anxiously asked then, what should I do? It calmly replied, you enter his spiritual fu and piece his soul back together. Zhu Yan exclaimed, don't joke around. Even though I'm a newbie, I know that the spiritual fu is the most private place for a cultivator. Our ancestors' cultivation is so much higher than mine. How can I possibly enter? The little fire's spirit pointed at her disdainfully. Just try it. Doesn't he like you a lot? Maybe you can get in? Zhu Yan hesitantly touched her chin. What do you think he likes about me? It said impatiently, I don't care what he likes about you. Stop dawdling and go. Xiaoyan looked at Sima Chao in despair. It's over. This time he's really going to die. But even so, she gently cupped his face and kissed him. The spiritual fu is like the door to the heart, and everyone's is different. For someone extremely guarded and filled with killing intent, their spiritual fu must be fraught with danger, like Sima Chao's. Within her divine sense, Sima Chao's figure appeared. Falling into his spiritual space, Ding Mian landed softly, exclaiming in disbelief, ah, why did I get in so easily? Her expression immediately soured as she looked around. Heavens, how can his spiritual domain be so dilapidated? Honestly, there's no vitality here at all. Suddenly, Ding Mian noticed something else. Can I really save him? She gasped, incredulous. My God, are these his soul fragments? She reached out, trying to gather each piece. Don't disappear. Even if I don't know what to do, I have to at least collect all these soul fragments. Suddenly, one of the fragments tried to pull her in. A look of stunned surprise flashed across Ding Mian's eyes as she seemed to be suspended in midair. It felt as if Sima Chao had completely enveloped her. A strange sensation washed over her petite body. So strange. Why do I feel both melancholic and numb? No, why am I so weak? Ding Mian felt like she was being entangled by countless thin threads, her cheeks already flushed. Not only that, but two figures of Sima Chao appeared, both toying with her body. Her legs felt weak, her head dizzy. She struggled to maintain her last shred of rationality, shaking her head to try and clear her mind. No, I have to focus. Ding Mian finally dispelled the illusion. Calm. As expected, intruding into someone else's spiritual domain is no easy task. Suddenly, a new vision appeared before her eyes. Clutching the soul fragments, she thought with determination, since I'm here, I have to see this through. I can't return empty-handed. The scene before her gradually became clear. She saw a private residence and cautiously stepped inside. Ding Mian carefully observed her surroundings, her expression changing significantly. Oh no, this place is a complete mess. She seemed to have discovered something, her eyes widening abruptly. A large, red jade stone sat right in front of her. Found it, she cried out in delight, then added with a hint of apprehension, this thing doesn't look very auspicious. Hugging Sima Chao's soul fragments tightly, she murmured with determination, if this cord disappears, he really will be completely gone. I have to hurry. Only when she was close to the jade did Ding Mian dare to relax slightly. But a big problem arose. She didn't know what to do with a large jade stone. How am I supposed to stick these soul fragments back on? Use myself as tape, right? If I wrap myself around these soul fragments, maybe he can recover on his own. Thinking this, she did just that. Ding Mian hugged the large jade and confidently pressed the fragments onto it. Hurry up and recover. Unexpectedly, there was a reaction. The jade emitted a dazzling light, and the surrounding scenery changed along with it, making Ding Mian feel very uncomfortable. She frowned, feeling an indescribable sense of suffocation. Ugh, his soul fragments are so sharp. Ding Mian was still in a daze when suddenly a hand lifted her chin. It's not attacking, so why does it still hurt? Whether it was an illusion or reality, Sima Chao actually kissed her lips. The sensation made Ding Mian feel more comfortable. Why, besides the pain, do I also feel pleasure and a bit of coolness. Her eyes widened abruptly. No way. Is this what cultivators call soul merging? Is this the legendary? In the scene before her, she could only hear ambiguous sounds and rapid breathing. At this moment, she screamed inwardly, dual cultivation. After a long while entangled with Sima Chao's panting form, Ding Mian felt her mind in chaos, gasping for breath. Damn it, I really... Back in reality, she woke up with a start and sat up. What was that just now? Suddenly, her cheeks flushed red. Touching her face, she screamed inwardly, I actually offer myself up and slept with Sima Chao. Does that even count as sleeping with him? Oh no, if he wakes up, will he just obliterate my soul? The little fire spirit appeared just then, saying cheerfully, I told you you could do it. He's much better now. You just need to try a few more times. Ding Mian covered her face and asked, try a few more times. She cried out, I almost died this time, and you want me to try several more times. The little fire spirit simply pointed at Zhu Yan. His situation is just like back then. He needs at least 3 more soul connections to wake up. Besides, looking at you now, didn't the dual cultivation benefit you as well? What are you hesitating for? It glanced at Sima Chao, who was still lying on the bed. Ding Mian covered her face and said irritably, what the hell is dual cultivation? Then she cast a silencing spell on the little fire spirit. Shut up, you little thing. Ding Mian sat by the bed and sighed. This is so annoying. If he wakes up later, will it be my turn to die? But then, she couldn't help but let her thoughts wander. He seemed to like me quite a bit. Maybe he won't kill me. But as she looked at Zhu Yan lying quietly on the bed, Ding Mian blushed and shook her head quickly to regain her composure. No, what am I doing? Am I being too presumptuous? One of the 3 biggest illusions in life is thinking that the other person must like you. I'm definitely just overthinking things. Then she touched Zhu Yan's forehead. Our souls are so intertwined, so intimate, as if we have become one. I can even feel his pain. Looking at him like this, he's actually quite handsome, but he always has that cold expression and such a strong aura that people overlook his looks. His hair is so soft and smooth. Then she touched Zhu Yan's ear. His earlobe was a little red, and it felt nice to the touch. Thinking of this, her cheeks flushed even more. But just then, Zhu Yan suddenly opened his eyes and asked coldly, what are you doing? Ding Mian was startled and stammered, I. She quickly pulled the blanket over him. I was afraid you'd catch a cold. Her heart cursed silently. Really, that little fire spirit is not reliable at all. All my sympathy for his innocent voice was wasted. I should have splashed him with more water. Suddenly, Zhu Yan reached out. One hand wrapped around Ding Mian's waist, the other around her neck. She was frightened out of her wits. Ancestor. Before she could finish, Zhu Yan pulled her closer and whispered again. Ding Mian was slightly taken aback. My spiritual domain is open now. At this moment, in the secret realm of the spiritual domain, Zhu Yan and Ding Mian were entangled on the bed. Only ambiguous sounds could be heard continuously. Zhu Yan buried his head in Ding Mian's neck, and she gasped beneath him. After Zhu Yan lazily released her, he asked, what were you doing just now? Ding Mian answered with difficulty, tears in her eyes, ancestor. I can't. But he didn't let her go and kissed her lips again. This is what soul intertwining truly means. Her body was covered in kisses big and small. She was exhausted. Her hands lead to Chuijak Soichong hanging limply in the water, petals floating gently on the surface. After being released, Ding Mian collapsed onto the boat, gasping for air. Then Xiao Yan gently wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. He chuckled. You cried quite loudly. Ding Mian looked at him affectionately, but cursed inwardly. You pervert. You're still smiling so happily. Ding Mian dragged her exhausted body away, limping, her voice full of pity. Ancestor, please spare me. Xiao Yan, however, ruthlessly grabbed Ding Mian's leg and said coldly, no way. The poor thing could only cry out helplessly. He held her, his hands and feet restlessly wandering over her body. What are you afraid of? Zhu Yan asked. Ding Mian stammered, an ancestor. Ding Mian was bullied by Zhu Yan again and could only mutter in her heart, really, you still ask me what I'm afraid of. I just died once and came back to life, then died again. My kidneys are almost failing, and you still want to go again. So Ding Mian used her trump card and stuck a leaf on his forehead. After she finished, she tentatively looked at Sun Yun Yen, It was a special spiritual herb from Qingqiu heaven. Sticking it on the forehead could calm a mind. But at this moment, Su Yuan burst out laughing. His expression darkened, and he raised his hand and waved it at her. You think sticking it on your forehead will work? Zhu Yan cupped her face and cleared his throat. Ding Mian collapsed Wulida Kunda. Whatever, if you want to ruin me, ruin me. If you want to burn me to ashes, then do it. Zhu Yan, of course, was not afraid and put his hand beside her. He said with a playful tone, "You think I won't dare touch you like this?" At this moment, Sima Chao touched Zhu Yan's cheek, scaring her speechless. Ancestor, ancestor. Zhu Yan's heart pounded, and she shrank back in panic. Help, help. Before leaving, she didn't forget to turn back and point at him, cursing softly. You pig trotter. After going out, Zhu Yan asked the little snake, "At this rate, it's better to just finish it in one go. At least I can get a breather." Really, what a crappy deal, not even giving me time to think or rest. The little snake shook its head vigorously. Seeing this, she asked helplessly, "Is it not over yet?" Zhu Yan then noticed the scenery on the other side, her face full of confusion. Is this place going to disappear? The colors around are fading. This lake and wooden house, could they be a small world created by that eminent monk? Sima Chao appeared out of nowhere and said, "That's right, this place will disappear in a day." Zhu Yan was startled and turned back, saying, "Ancestor." Then he looked at the little snake and said, "Let's go." The little snake gradually grew larger. Zhu Yan looked at Sima Chao warily and asked, "Where are we going this time?" But before she could finish, Sima Chao picked her up again. Zhu Yan wondered, why does Ancestor like to hold me more and more? Sima Chao then said, "Luo Hei, immortal abode." Zhu Yan could only resign herself to her fate. Forget it. As long as he doesn't pull me to do any more soul communication, he can hold me however he wants. A few days later, at Luohai Shinju. Early in the morning, Tianlu said, "I heard Master say that this is a market town where mortals and cultivators live together, and it's also the first stop to enter Jingting." Yang Lichuan stood before them, hands on her hips, and said loudly, "Brother, this place is so broken and old. Do we really have to stay here for a day? I can't stand it. I'm leaving after a short rest, or I'll find a better place myself." Yang Ichio calmly replied, "When we're out and about, the conditions naturally can't compare to home. Just bear with it." Zhu Yan added, "We've been following this pair of siblings for a while now. The younger sister is called Yang Lichuan, and the older brother is Yang Ichio. They're the children born after the eldest daughter of the Xian family married. They're also the young masters of the Night Feather Palace. I don't understand why Master wants to follow them." She smacked her lips. Such a luxurious house, and she still thinks it's broken. She's truly a spoiled, second-generation immortal. Lichuan pulled Ichio's hand and said, "Brother, what do you think the academy at Jingting Shinju will be like? Will it be even better than the Chongju Academy we went to before?" Ichio replied indifferently, "How can it compare? Mother has already said that as long as we become disciples of Jingting Shinju, we will be respected wherever we go. Maybe the Night Feather Palace will have to rely on us. You know, I'm definitely stronger than those illegitimate sons, and then the Night Feather Palace will be ours." Zhu Yan stared, dumbfounded. "There's so much palace intrigue in your cultivation world, too." Sima Chao stroked his chin. "How about we borrow their identities?" With a wave of his hand, the two transformed into two small quails. Suddenly, two small quails appeared, startling Zhu Yan. She didn't understand how she had become Lichuan. What the hell? Sima Chao picked up the two small quails and said with a smile, "Little sister, take them and play." Zhu Yan looked at him speechlessly. "Ancestor, what strange game are you playing now?" The next day, outside the main hall. Later, I understood. We were impersonating the young master and mistress of the Night Feather Palace, and he brought us into the Chun Academy of Jingting Shinju. Thanks to this identity, we avoided the Shi family's pursuit and quietly infiltrated Jingting Shinju. Ding Mian and Ma Chao dozed off, leaning against each other in the carriage, completely unaware that the little snake was quietly sneaking up to their lovey-dovey pigeons. Ha! Ding Mian quickly fell asleep. In her dream, she saw Ma Chao going down the stairs and wondered, wait, isn't this Ancestor's memory? Ma Chao's figure became clearer and clearer. That's right, I entered his spiritual mansion before and touched his soul, so that's why I'm seeing these after images. I can even feel his emotions. My God, Ma Chao looked so lonely in the dream. That loneliness was almost suffocating. Suddenly, Ding Mian felt like she was sinking into the deep sea, extremely uncomfortable. She woke up abruptly, staring at Ma Chao. Seeing her startled, Ma Chao softly asked, "What's wrong?" She was a little breathless. Nothing. She looked at him thoughtfully. This soul connection makes me feel that ancestor is actually quite pitiful. And ever since then, my cultivation has been increasing rapidly, like I'm constantly absorbing his yang energy. It's quite embarrassing. My face is red. Those images were quite shameful, but ancestor wasn't shy at all. What a pervert. A while later, inside the Taiangxianju Academy lecture hall, the teacher was lecturing. Today, we'll discuss the 5 elemental spiritual roots and how to circulate spiritual power. Ding Mian listened while thinking. Besides being a bit handsy, he's still the same. I don't understand what he's doing, but it actually makes me feel at ease. After a while, Ding Mian turned to Ma Chao and asked, Ancestor, did you bring me here to learn the basics of cultivation? He lightly clenched his fist and said indifferently, Learn what? I'm here to kill. Ding Mian breathed a sigh of relief. That's reassuring, but she became a little nervous. Who are you planning to kill this time? Zhu Yan looked at his palm and said with an excited smile, Annihilate the Shi family, and all the families closely related to them. Ding Mian was so frightened that she couldn't speak, only staring at him in horror. Fortunately, Ancestor isn't planning to kill everyone in the Guardian Mansion. So many people, how long would that take? Wait, why did I think of that first? Sima Chao seemed to understand her thoughts and said with a smile, For your sake, I'll spare the others, but the Shi family, not a single one will remain. Don't expect me to show mercy. Ding Mian was stunned. For my sake, do I have that much face? Why would you give me face? I didn't ask you to stop killing. Zhu Yan smiled indulgently within the body, then reached out and tapped Ding Mian's forehead. Can you see my thoughts during our soul connection? Ding Mian looked at him thoughtfully. All right, it's over. Then, holding her forehead, she thought, I saw some of his memories, and he naturally saw some of mine. Next time we have telepathic contact, I absolutely cannot let my mind wander. But Ding Mian covered her face, her cheeks burning. Wait, that's not right. Why am I still thinking about next time? I can't think about it anymore. I'll shorten my lifespan if I do. Zhu Yan asked, chin in hand, tell me, which one do you want me to retract? Ding Mian sighed inwardly. Was this ancestor playing a deadly lottery? She perked up her ears to listen to the teacher's lecture. The teacher said, let me demonstrate a water-based spell for everyone. It's a water-based spell. She couldn't help but think that her foundation was too weak. Although her cultivation level was high, she knew too few spells. She had to take this opportunity to improve. The teacher on the platform added, watch carefully and practice more. As soon as the teacher cast the spell, a water tower appeared. Ding Mian exclaimed, amazing. Ding Mian excitedly tried it without hesitation. I'll try too. But the water droplet distorted before it could take shape, leaving her somewhat disappointed. How did it dissolve? Zhu Yan silently watched the naive girl gather water again, and finally couldn't help but grab her hand. You're such an idiot. With just a few movements, Zhu Yan created a misty waterfall. Ding Mian couldn't help but exclaim, wow. Zhu Yan calmly withdrew the water flow and said, you're surprised by such a small trick. Why learn from that half-baked teacher on stage? As soon as he finished speaking, he transformed the water flow into a deadly weapon. Ding Mian was frightened and blurted out, this is a true master. Sima Chao said casually, my spiritual roots are special. You can't do it. Seeing the water needles falling, Ding Mian cried out, even if you can turn water into needles, you still have to follow the basic rules. Then he helped Ding Mian practice controlling water. You can change this to other elements. Using the 3 elements of water, wood, and earth is best, especially when the surrounding water spiritual energy is abundant. If you use your full power, you could drain the ponds within 100 miles. She felt the surrounding spiritual energy converging and couldn't help but sigh. His spiritual power is truly strong. Sima Chao moved on to the next spell, the corners of his mouth lifting slightly, and pressed Ding Mian's hand against his face. I rarely use wood, but it can turn people into wood, and with a little fire, they can be burned to ashes. It's quite simple. Ding Mian uncomfortably blurted out, what is this? His spiritual power is purifying me. It hurts so much. Sima Chao controlled her body, making her feel every detail. Earth is all about material transformation. It can compress earth into stone. Against someone whose cultivation is a level lower than yours, this move can crush them easily, bones and flesh together. She couldn't bear it anymore and couldn't even speak. Enough. That's really enough. Student Ding Mian sincerely admits defeat. My spiritual veins can't handle this kind of hands-on teaching. Sima Chao crossed his arms, looking down at her condescendingly. Your spiritual soul cultivation is still too weak. Ding Mian could only laugh awkwardly. No, I'm very satisfied. It's really enough. She immediately offered him water. Ancestor, take a break, have some cold brew tea. Sima Chao took the tea and repeated, cold brew tea. He looked at it curiously and asked, what is this? Ding Mian thought to herself, this ancestor doesn't eat or drink anything. He's very picky. Getting him to eat something is harder than getting him to not kill. Thinking this, she explained, Ancestor said he wants to deal with the Sure family and the families close to them. But how does Ancestor know which families are close to them? Sima Chao placed the cold brew tea on the table and replied, didn't they already say it? The 100-person death match at Lingyan Mountain Terrace. See who they sacrifice. See how those families join forces. The relationships are clear to glance. Ding Mian secretly admired him after hearing this. I thought he was really crazy, but turns out he has other plans. Meanwhile, the little black snake took the opportunity to swallow the entire cup of cold brew tea. Sima Chao added, come here, draw lots. She looked at the creatures in front of her, hesitant. Sima Chao watched her with interest. Whoever you draw, I'll kill first. Ding Mian nervously grabbed the little snake that had just drunk the water and stammered, you do it. Let this fool draw. The little snake picked a ball. Sima Chao caught it, the corners of his mouth curling up slightly. The chief family. The expression on his face sent chills down Ding Mian's spine. Ancestor, do you know that your smile right now is like a villainous overlord? The next day, everyone at the academy went to class again. Ding Mian, not fully awake yet, yawned widely. Where did my ancestor go? He hasn't come back all night. Ding Mian quickly paused at Zhuozishang, trying to sneak in a nap. He wouldn't really go kill someone, leaving me alone to suffer in the academy, would he? Just as she was thinking, someone suddenly walked up to her. Seeing the person sit down next to her, she jumped, startled. Whoa, who is this? You scared me. The person turned and introduced himself. My name is Qi Luyang. You're young Ling Shun from Yao Palace, right? Where's your brother? Hearing this, Ding Mian sighed, remembering Xiao Hate drawing lots yesterday. The lot seemed to have the character Qi on it. Thinking of this, her eyes were filled with pity. It's over. This guy is probably going to die. How pitiful. Seeing her staring at him, Liang became smug. She's staring at me like this. Looks like I have a chance. The young Liang grew bolder and directly grabbed her hand. Our Qi family and the Mu Si family have always had a good relationship. Call me Big Brother Qi. I'll definitely protect you. Ding Mian was disgusted by his words and got goosebumps all over. But somehow Liang suddenly jumped up, yelling in pain, while Ding Mian pretended to be nonchalant, whistling and looking away. It turned out her mischievous little hand was at it again. He panicked for a moment, recalling the feeling just now. What the hell? My butt hurts and feels cold. Qi Luyang yelled and clutched his butt in front of the whole class, finally angering the teacher. Qi Luyang, what are you doing? Such unruly behavior. Get out. The whole class burst into laughter. Oh my God, did Qi Luyang wet his pants? Haha. Ding Mian sat there, feeling smug. The pin trick Sima Chao taught me yesterday really works. The teacher's voice became serious. Quiet, everyone. Today we're going to talk about the soul and the sea of consciousness. A person's sea of consciousness is the most private place. Even dual cultivation partners can't easily enter each other's. You are still young, so don't do this kind of thing for momentary pleasure. Hearing this, Ding Mian suddenly felt a pang of guilt and covered her face. Wait, so that means Sima Chao and I are already bad kids who have tasted the forbidden fruit. The more she thought about it, the more ashamed she became. Ding Mian shook her head vigorously. Ah, how embarrassing. So embarrassing. The scene changed to Jinghua Pavilion, where everyone was dining. Ding Mian was also there, sighing listlessly. Being young Ling Shun means having to socialize, but at least the food here is pretty good. Before she could take a bite, Yuan Rongxiu, Qi Liang's cousin, stood in front of her and aggressively questioned, "You're the one who humiliated my cousin, aren't you?" Ding Mian immediately activated her level 1 dead fish skill. Huh, I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't me. Really, it wasn't me. Who's your cousin? Rongxiu's friend continued to scold, still pretending. Your spiritual roots are so poor, you can't cultivate it all. You might as well find a powerful Dao companion to absorb some spiritual energy. Zhu Yan activated her level 2 dead fish skill. Yes, you're absolutely right. Clear logic, well reasoned. She even clapped her hands in agreement. Rongxiu's other friend also chimed in. I think you're just here to find a Dao companion today, right? Too bad everyone here has a stronger background than you. You'd better know your place. Zhao Yan immediately smiled and activated her level 3 dead fish skill. Whatever you say, I'm fine with it. No objections. I also think you're right. You're so right. The three of them were so angry they couldn't speak. The more they thought about it, the more frustrated they became. They never thought there could be such a shameless person. Unable to stay angry, the three beauties had to leave in a huff. Wang Shuo was depressed. Isn't young Ling Shun supposed to be impulsive and easily angered? Why is she like a stone now, not reacting to anything? What's going on? Meanwhile, Zhu Yan was happily eating pastries in the back. This sweet soup is really good. The discussion at the next table caught Zhu Yan's attention. Have you guys heard about the big incident that happened in the inner hall recently? Could it be related to that patriarch? Zhu Yan's heart tightened. They're talking about Sima Chao. Our ancestor caused such a big commotion, killing so many high-ranking Earth immortals. Yet Jing Sheagangshan is pretending nothing happened. Finally, someone brought it up. The next table continued. I heard the patriarch flew into a rage and killed quite a few people, just because his most beloved female disciple whispered some sweet nothings in his ear. The sect master even had to cover it up. Now, the patriarch is in seclusion at White Deer Cliff and won't appear again. Zhu Yan calmly refuted in her mind. Idiot, that's all fake news. The higher-ups are definitely covering up the truth to maintain stability. However, the rumors only intensified. Originally, everyone thought that Jingshao Harbor would become even stronger with the ancestor's return, but now it seemed that his presence might not be a good thing. Another person retorted, "You're wrong. The ancestor's cultivation is extremely high, and he's the only descendant of the Sima family. It's normal for him to be eccentric. He should be our respected elder and role model. If I had the chance, I would die for him." Zhu Yan, while chewing on her sweet soup, listened to this explosive gossip, thinking to herself, so eager to follow Sima Chao. Too bad this ancestor looks down on all of you, even considers you and the entire Jing Shao Harbor to be trash. Just as she was thinking this, a familiar figure suddenly stood up behind her. Sima Chao put his hand on her shoulder and asked, finished eating, "Let's go home." Zhu Yan was startled and turned around, saying, Brother, you're back." She added, "I'm finished. Let's go." At this moment, someone recognized her. "Oh, isn't this young Shirchio from Yayo Palace? You came to the banquet with Xi and Dao. Why didn't you let your younger sister stay?" Sima Chao glanced back at him and asked, "Banquet." Then he turned to Zhu Yuan. "I thought you were just chatting casually." Zhu Yan looked at him, thinking, am I seeing things? Why does this ancestor have a "my daughter has been wronged and lost weight" expression on his face? So Sima Chao took her away, asking with concern along the way, "Do you like it here?" She replied, "It's all right. The food here is better than at the academy." He added, "With your current cultivation level, you don't actually need to eat these things." She innocently replied, "Oh, I'm just eating because I have a craving." Then Zhu Yan handed the bowl to Sima Chao. "Actually, you should try more delicacies too. It'll improve your mood." As she spoke, she secretly observed, this ancestor's life is truly too pitiful and boring. A person who can't even eat and sleep properly, what's the point of life? Thinking of this, she took a large bite and said vaguely, "Try it, it's really delicious." Her mouth full of food, her voice was a bit muffled, and she urged just one bite. Sima Chao's gaze remained fixed on her. Then he directly kissed her lips, indirectly tasting the food. The sudden action made Zhu Yan's heart race, and she even dropped the utensils in her hand. The scene of the two kissing happened to be witnessed by Luo Tian. He was so angry that he immediately hid behind a pillar, cursing inwardly. "This Yin Shiyu, I haven't even had the chance to pursue her, and someone else has already beat me to it. Who is that guy?" Sima Chao finally released her lips after a long time, complaining in a low voice, "What's so good about this taste?" Yin Shiyu angrily pushed him away. "You still ate it." Sima Chao leaned back slightly, licking his lips. At this moment, Luo Tian walked over and asked Shiyu. He asked casually, "What are you doing here? Aren't you attending the flower banquet with someone else?" Then he looked at Sima Chao. "And who is this?" Yin Shiyu calmly replied, "This is my cousin, Wei Yuchu." Hearing this, Luo Tian was completely stunned, shouting inwardly, "Incest! This depraved couple is committing incest." Sima Chao just sneered coldly. Then he directly took Yin Shiyu's hand and left. "If you have nothing else to do, scram." Yin Shiyu was completely confused. Recalling Luo Tian's expression just now, she wondered, why did he look so constipated? After the two left, Luo Tian watched their retreating figures chapters, muttering with a cold face. Disgusting. That night, in Sima Chao's room, Yinshiyu asked, "Master, what is this?" He sat not far away and replied, "I just want to take care of some business and saw this book, so I brought it back." Yinshiyu looked at the book suspiciously. What book is so important that Master specifically brought it back? But as soon as she opened it, her eyes widened. Wow. Then she looked at him in shock. Heaven and earth, yellow and black, fourth order cultivation techniques, and also the 5 elements and 12 special mutated spiritual roots. She said, closing the book fearfully, a total of 15,000 chapters. All the named spells in the entire cultivation world are recorded here. You just casually brought back such a terrifying spiritual book. What exactly did you do? Thinking of this, her face paled as she imagined the scene of Sima Chao being taken away. Wait, is it going to be a citywide curfew tomorrow? And they'll start catching the thief, and then they'll find us. At this moment, Sima Chao spoke. Haven't I killed enough people already? You're not afraid of following me, but you're afraid of taking a book. Hearing this, Yinshiyu nodded repeatedly. Right, that makes sense. She resolutely clenched her fists and added, I love studying. From now on, I'll learn 50 new words every day. No, 15 spells. Zhu Yan sat beside her, holding a teacup and resting her chin in her hand. No, you actually really want to. In your heart, you're clearly screaming no. Ding Mian raised her eyebrows in surprise. You already knew, so why did you give me so much homework? But then she leaned closer curiously. Ancestor, how do you know what I'm thinking? Can you read minds? Sima Chao calmly replied, I can't read minds. He then gently stroked her cheek and said softly, but when your emotions are running high, I can sometimes hear your thoughts. I can only hear yours. Ding Mian's face stiffened, and she asked with a frown, why only mine? Her little heart clutched its head and screamed in protest. Is this also a side effect of soul sharing? Ugh, I knew there was a price to pay for casually sleeping with a big shot. Sima Chao whispered in her ear, if you keep making noise, I'll be able to hear everything in your head, and we'll share souls. Hearing this, Ding Mian stammered, soul sharing. In Ding Mian's imagination, she was being tossed and turned by this ancestor, breathless and covered in red marks. Thinking of that image, Ding Mian immediately clasped her hands together in front of her chest and chanted loudly, Umitba, no soul sharing, no soul sharing. All things are empty. Sima Chao couldn't help but laugh at her words. The scene like a little chick being chased by a large snake that wanted to swallow it whole. The next morning in class, Ding Mian leaned close to Sima Chao and asked suspiciously, Ancestor, it's so strange. Why is everyone avoiding us and looking at us with such strange expressions? Sima Chao cast a barrier around them and said indifferently, no need to whisper, they can't hear us. Ding Mian pouted and looked around in confusion. Looking at their expressions, I thought I came out wearing pajamas, not a dress. Sima Chao chuckled. If you want to know, see for yourself. She immediately gave him a thumbs up. You're the best, big shot. Luo Tian looked at them with disdain and speculated. I saw it with my own eyes. There's absolutely no mistake. That day, those two siblings were shamelessly doing it in Jinhua Garden in public. His younger sister glanced at them from the other side and said, doing that kind of thing, the Yang siblings are truly shameless. Disgusting. They've defiled our place of cultivation. Hearing these words, Ding Mian froze, her face turning pale. Oh my God, I almost forgot we're siblings. Seeing Sima Chao laughing so heartily, Ding Mian asked uneasily, Ancestor, how can you still laugh? His voice turned cold, his eyes filled with killing intent. I heard that my parents were also siblings. Back then, the Celestial Palace Guardian wanted the pure bloodline of the Sima family and brainwashed them day and night, forcing them to have children. I thought they didn't care about these things at all, but I didn't expect that they actually knew what to do and what not to do.